The world we live in is an illusion. A prison created for us. Once, we were gods. Some of us see the truth. Seeking our lost divinity.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and we're back today for the first episode of Kult Divinity Lost. This is a new game for us here on the channel, a new game for our group, and we're going to be descending down into the darkness shortly here. This will be our session 0, so we're going to be talking about our characters and play some of my patented Session 0 character games together, which may include Never Have I Ever today. So let's go around, let's meet the cast and the crew. All of us are here except from Pruitt, who'll be back with us next week. He's currently stuck in line somewhere, and there's been storms and terrible things happen to Pruitt. But he'll be back with us next week. Let's go around, introduce yourselves, and tell us a little bit about your character today and who you'll be playing. So let's start with Charlie. How's it going, Charlie?
It's going good. I did hear that Pruitt was caught up in that whole shooting at tornadoes thing that's going on in Texas at the moment.
Right.
Sharknado isn't real, people. But yeah, I'm Charlie. I'm at Frost from Fire. I'm super excited to get to play Kult today. The second I heard about it, I was like, this is my kind of edgy. I'm about it. And I'm going to be playing Jolene Magnolia, who is the doll archetype. I'm not sure how much would you like me to say about her, Will?
A couple of lines, maybe, I don't know. Just a brief
So
sort of sketch.
Her previous occupation was trophy wife. Her appearance is a made-up face, emerald green eyes, and curvaceous body. She has some pretty cool tricks up her sleeve for surviving things, but she's not that good at fighting.
Cool. Excellent. Can't wait to meet more Jolene. Excellent. We have Lindy with us today. Lindy, how's it going?
Well, I'm doing pretty spiffy. I'm very excited about this game. Pruitt and I, although Pruitt isn't here currently because I destroyed him, I'll fix him later. But we collaborated with characters for this season, and terribly excited to play Cassandra Suzanne Price, but you can call me either Cassie Sue or Cassie Ann. I respond to either. And she is an antiques dealer / estate appraiser from So, Mississippi, though their store's in Pascagoula. So, she's just, slightly gothic in appearance, but very southern. She's got that southern sweetness about her.
Cool. And Tom, who are you going to be playing tonight?
Hi, I'm going to be playing Thomas, who is playing an archetype.
How original.
I know, right? I know.
How did you come up with that name?
Actually, Charlie.
The worst bit is I came up with that name.
Charlie did.
Like, unironically?
No, she completely forgot that was my name. Completely forgot. So I just went with it. It would be easier for me. So yeah, I made my own archetype here, the Fallen or Citizen, whichever one it's going to be. And Thomas Chatwin is I suppose you could say kind of somewhat a drifter. He goes from city to city, just living life. He's a confused individual, very, very confused. And it's almost like he's learning as he goes, but yeah, he's all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And obviously, Pruitt will be playing Percival, but we have Sam Paintergram with us today. How's it going, my friend? Welcome to the crew.
Hey there. totally not terrified about, embarrassing myself in public.
We do it all the time. It gets easier.
Constantly. The more you embarrass yourself, the easier it gets.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. So I'll be playing Vincent Helsebeck, which is cat burglar. Sorry for my English, it's kind of wonky today. Essentially, it's a criminal, and he despises violence. So he's mostly about, breaking and entering without no witnesses and avoiding contact with any of the victims of the burglary. I don't know how much are we allowed to talk about the occult part of Kult, if our characters know a lot about it.
Yeah, sure. If you want to, if that feels pertinent to your character, feel free to let us know.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking something along the lines that he saw something, and now all his belief systems are broke. Like he's really into all pseudosciences, like healing with crystals and conspiracy theories. Like he's on the occult, but in the wrong track.
Right. Cool. So he's into the sort of faux magical sort of Healy crystal bullshit.
Kind of like charlatan mysticism.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Like
Awesome.
he's into astrology, spending all his earnings actually in all this kind of stuff, like tarot and all that. Well, I actually respect tarot, but for the sake of comedy.
Absolutely. Cool.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Well, before we get started, before we dive into our session 0 and learn a little bit more about our characters and play some psychologically revealing, emotionally distressing games with one another for our session 0 here, I remind you guys that, of course, today we are sponsored by Kult Divinity Lost, the company behind the game here, who are sponsoring the show and helping us put on this production for you guys here. And of course, if you haven't checked out Kult yet, well, the best endorsement we can give is that we're playing it here, and we think it's a worthy successor to the Call of Cthulhu series that we've been doing for a couple of years here on the channel. If you want to check it out, you can head over to Modifius.net, and they have Kult over there, or in fact, the Kult Divinity Lost website as well is a good place to go to check out, learn some more about the game while we're playing here. And of course, our regular sponsors include FantasyGrounds.com, our virtual tabletop of choice, WhenandGames.co.uk, where you can get up to 20% off the retail value of their board games, war games, and miniatures over there. And then TabletopLoot.com are our third and final sponsor that you can check out. And when we hit 20 retweets on this tweet, you guys will get a set of dice given away there in the chat to you wonderful folks. Oh, and of course you can donate to a further game as well by giving players now 1s and now 20s World Magic Surges, or in the case of World Build, a magic item for Jolene, a mystic makeup palette which never runs out and that enhances her natural social capabilities. That could come in handy. I've made a note of that. And Jolene, looks like you've got a really good palette. Even better than you know that it is. Maybe it's just that it's your favorite palette, but it turns out pretty fucking magic. But let's start, I guess, with a sort of basic introduction to our characters. So the game that we're going to be playing is actually set in 2019. So it sets in today's day and age, meaning that you guys are just normal people, or so we think. As the campaign goes on, we'll learn more about your characters, more than even you know about your own characters right now, in fact, and more about the world, or the reality of the world as it is in Kult Divinity Lost. But for as many as you guys know, it's just a normal sort of world. But you may have experienced things, seen strange things, or had strange dreams in which you see the truth of the world as it may be. Nothing is truly as it seems, and our characters have started to have their sort of first glimpses into that truth, tearing away the veil. So the first thing we'll go around and do is just sort of tell us about your life, about your day-to-day life. Where do you live in the world? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? And sort of tell us a little bit about your sort of routine at the moment, I guess, and what life is like for you. So let's start with Jolene.
Well, since I left my husband, I've been hiding out at motels, reading magazines, watching a lot of Desperate Housewives, Real Housewives, Mob Wives, although that one cuts a little close to home. I did go to the mall the other day. That was real exciting. I picked myself up a new makeup palette. Just my shade. It was a magical thing. But mostly, you know, keeping quiet, keeping to myself, trying out all the flavors of bubblegum.
Okay, fantastic. So right now, Jolene is sort of in between a permanent, like, housing situation.
Yeah, she's definitely mostly living out of a suitcase at the moment. Not really settling anywhere for too long. She likes to think of it as like a road trip. It's really not like that.
Right.
But she's kind of fooling herself. Like, this is like a road trip. Interesting things are going to happen. She's going to see the world.
Cool, okay.
Spends most of the time with cheap motel art and, you know, poor choices in bedspreads.
Right, right. And she's somewhere in the States right now?
Yeah, she, I think, is somewhere a little south of, like, Illinois. I'm not sure whereabouts, but somewhere East Coast, south of Chicago.
Okay, cool. Then let's see, Lindy, tell us more about Cassandra and Percival. What do they get up to? What's their normal life like? Seems like it's a good life.
Yeah, so Cassie and Percy, which is short for Percival Randolph Stewart III, they live in a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a camper van, one of those big camper vans that you just hook up to electricity. They hate being tied down to one place for too long. They do have their store, but it's typically run by my cousin, Roscoe Price, and you know, we just go around doing you know, estate sales. We monitor those, looking for items of eccentricity, and procuring things for the antique store, buying and selling goods, you know, traveling around, doing what we do. And yeah, they pretty much just hang out a lot. They spend a lot of time together, and a lot of times with dusty old tomes and books and weird antique items and shipping and business transactions and auctions and that kind of thing, all over the country.
Yeah,
just constantly driving around, new city every week.
Constantly to travel. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right then, Tom, tell us about Tom. You're
never gonna get old.
that's not gonna get confusing. What does he do? What's his life? You said he was confused. Do you know what he's confused about, or is it general confusion?
I mean, I know what he's confused about, but no one else.
Right,
will.
but does Tom?
But yeah. So essentially, you could probably think of him as a kind of drifter, a hobo. He goes from city to city, you know, riding the trains, buses, and he's somewhat almost childlike in his fascination of mundane and simple things, like just meeting new people and hearing their stories and just being around people and communicating with them. Everything is fascinating to him. Everything is almost new and amazing. So yeah, he doesn't really have a job. He doesn't do any. He essentially just goes with the flow, I suppose you could say. He just goes where he wants to, and he lives on the streets. Basically, he lives where he can.
Right.
Yeah,
and on the streets of. Somewhere in the UK, or is he also in the States?
No, he's in the States. Yep, he's in the States.
Okay. Cool. So did he ever have a job?
Not that he remembers.
Okay. Cool. So you guys are all fucking drifters thus far at the moment, which sort of works out well. But what about Vincent? Obviously, he's a burglar.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, I got a small apartment on the wrong side of town. Some people call it the wrong side of town. To me, it seems very right. My horoscope today said something about avoiding the color blue, and my lucky numbers are 23 and 5. Huh. Weird. So anyway, I was on my way to this particular target, and a black cat crossed my path, which, set off all the alarms, like, no.
Yeah.
So I arrive at the place, and the first thing I know is, like, they got this huge ladder, blue ladder, just on the door that I was supposed to lockpick. And I mean, what are the odds? So I call it off. I'm chilling tonight. I'm just watching Netflix. No crime for today. Sorry.
Netflix and no crime.
Netflix and no crime. Yeah. That's my Tinder profile, by the way.
Right. Yeah, it's a solid one. Fantastic. Okay, so now we have a better idea of not only the characters, but what they're doing in the world at the moment. Let's think about some character relationships, seeing as part of our game here is to sort of tie one another together a little bit with relations, and see maybe if you have either distant or maybe even close relationships with not only the other party, but we can also start to think about some NPCs here as well. So let's start with well, actually, this is an open question. Do we think that any of our characters know one another, like off the bat, either like tangentially or Cassandra?
Cassie, Sue, and Percy are in a relationship. Right. They are a couple, so they definitely know each other.
Those two definitely are. Yeah. What about the rest of us? Has Cassie and Percy ever come across Tom, Jolene, or Vincent, do we think? Or are our characters at this point haven't really met one another?
And
Tom and I... Oh, sorry. Well, on the note of
I like Netflix and crime.
On the note of antiques, it's possible that Jolene had maybe used Cassie to track down something for her previous residence. She had a very large house with a lot of expensive things in it.
Yeah, definitely, probably. If you can buy anything for a price. That's the Cassie Sue price slogan.
Okay.
So maybe there's she still has like that card in her wallet still.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little business card.
Yeah.
Done business.
Sam, what you got there?
Well, I was wondering if, a house full of expensive things could have a connection with crime. I wonder.
Oh, honey, I don't think you want to rob my house. Considering who my husband is. But it's possible that you know my husband.
It's possible you know
and
husband,
it's also possible that I helped furnishing that house, or maybe sold some books to somebody. I wonder.
I bought the antiques from you because you stole them and procured them from Jolie. You need an 18th century? Okay, vase. Don't worry, I know a guy. Hey, I need you to steal an 18th century vase.
Oh wow!
You can steal
Thank you.
The Declaration of
Wow.
Independence and an 18th century base.
Yep.
That sounds good. It turns out that Cassandra also has a book on occult lore, written in German, thanks to a Worldview donation. That might come in handy. So we're thinking that then Cassandra knows Vincent because Jolene asked for some antiques.
Some really obscure
some
antiques.
specific obscure antiques. Cassandra, you couldn't get your hands on them in time, and so you went to Vincent for fencing, procuring. Yeah. Is that a regular sort of business relationship between Vincent and Cassandra?
You go ahead.
I mean, it could definitely, certainly be. Percy and Cassie are not particularly enthralled with the government and the man and the system. So, Crime
All
is
of
not
such
out of the
things.
question. Yeah.
Do you believe in the New World Order coming to take away your property?
But why do you
Cassandra.
think we don't own property? Why do you think we live in this trailer home? Like,
Oh, I totally
You
believe
guys
on that
see-
one.
Are you guys super hippies?
not less super hippie, more distrusting Southerners. Not quite redneck, but I mean, so Mississippi has a population of about 300, so it's a very small town.
Right. And tightly knit community, I think, is a
Yeah.
positive term for that.
Uh-huh.
Paranoid independence.
Yes, that's a good term. Paranoid independence. That's what they're kind of about. They're not
Okay.
like the man. Too
But
much
you
regulations.
travel a lot,
Not
so
enough
maybe
freedom.
it's right. So maybe it's like when you're in the same town as Vincent, then you sort of like give him a call if if it
Mhm.
happens. Maybe you met a couple of times over the years, but you're not like close friends, right?
Not super close, but definitely done business.
Yeah. What about you, Tom? Do you think Tom has met any of the other characters? I mean, he's a drifter, so he travels a lot like the others. It's possible that they'd have met even just on happenstance, or has he just sort of gotten to the States?
No, he's from the States, and he's probably been he's been drifting for as long as he can remember.
Right.
There was something that maybe Charlie wanted to do with me. I'm not sure if you still want to do it.
Yeah, I'm still down to do that if you'd like.
Yeah. I didn't know what type of was it going to be like
So
brother
we
or
discussed
brother or
kind of two options for like a close relationship of either being like childhood friends
Mm-hmm.
or actually have been kind of like stepbrother and sister, or I guess we could also have been maybe like foster kids together, like that kind of sibling relationship even.
yeah. I mean, I don't mind whichever one that's you would think.
Foster kids can make sense. If,
Foster kids.
you've got like shared foster parents that are still in the picture that we could bring in as NPCs
Yeah.
to torture. Sorry.
We know what you mean. We know what you. But in regards to the other two, unless they specifically kind of went to like the tracks of a town or like a hobo town, I doubt they would know or have met me at all.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I've got another question for you, sort of linked off Charlie's character, is that her husband, Mr. Magnolia, is a crime boss.
My ex-husband.
And ex-husband, yes, is a crime lord. And possibly, therefore, you may have some knowledge or connections with him. Specifically, Vincent jumps to mind, also being a criminal.
So I had his first name as Joe because I like the idea of Joe Magnolia as a name.
It's good.
Yes.
Joe and Jolene Magnolia.
Yeah. Do you think Vincent would know this guy?
I totally would believe that they would know each other. Joe
What do you
is the
think?
kind of guy that has his hands in a lot of pies. And definitely would be interested in a man with some skills for getting into places. Currently looking for a man with some skills to get out of places, I believe.
Oh, I can help with that, but I can help.
So Vincent, what do you think your relationship is like with Mr. Magnolia?
Well, I'm not. Are we supposed to tell our dark secrets now?
Sure, you can do. It's you only know as much as your character does, and we'll keep in character and out character knowledge separate. So yeah, feel free to do this in session 0. Let us know what your secret is.
So yeah, I got as disadvantage as well, bad reputation. So could be, crossing the wrong lines with Mr. Magnolia.
Ooh. So he could be someone that's out to get you as well a little bit, maybe? Do you think you sliced a
Yeah,
little off
it's-
the top, maybe didn't give him back the full amount that you owed him or something like that?
Yeah, I may owe him like a finger or two from a monkey paw. Perhaps I heard somebody told me. And Vincent is also extremely greedy, so that ties in with that.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, maybe Mr. Magnolia is. You've got a little bit of a debt there, maybe, which could come in handy. Maybe not.
Yeah.
He's probably a guy that doesn't have a particularly friendly reputation himself for people who cross him. But Vincent's still alive, so how bad could he be? Okay.
Jolene
Alrighty.
just inwardly shuddered. Just how bad? Well, how bad can he be?
Right. Ex-husbands are never a terrifying thing to bring into the picture for horror games.
No.
Lindy knows. So, okay, cool. Let's see, what else have we got here that I wanted to bring in? That's okay for now. All right, let's move on to this next bit then. So, question time. I'll ask you some questions about your characters that will be psychologically revealing. So, first of which is just what your ambition is. So, if you have, your greatest ambition in life would be to, I don't know, have a great job or have family or stop having terrible visions. I don't know. Whatever would make sense to your character. So, Charlie, what's Jolene's greatest ambition?
Jolene's greatest ambition is basically a restart on her life to get to actually have that white picket fence and everything behind it not be a miserable hellhole of fake, like Stepford facing life. She wants to actually be happy and kind of have a family and friends that aren't there to make her miserable most of the time.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's like
Like
genuine
a-
happiness would be nice.
Yeah, clean start. I like it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What about you, Cassie? Maybe yours and Percival's are the same.
Yeah. So, their biggest goal is essentially, especially Cassie Sue's, is their dark secret, their shared dark secret, which would be a pact with dark forces. So, just serving that out.
Just cheeky.
Doing
little-
all she can for, that individual.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Born to serve.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of a pact. All right, Tom. What is Tom's greatest ambition?
Probably to explore and learn. That's where he is. He wants to explore and learn at this moment. So, like, just take in information, I suppose.
Like a sponge.
Like a sponge. Like a
Not
toddler.
that sponges take in information, but yeah.
I can give you a whole lot
to-
of information about a very important individual. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior?
Our Lord and Savior.
And I am not
Okay.
talking about Jesus.
I have.
So that would be. I'll write down learn for you, Tom.
Learn,
So
yes,
you'll hope to
learn.
I have an additional goal for Jolene that my
Yes.
mother just messaged me about. She would like to grow a tree from a coconut. She's heard this is possible, and she dreams of, like, palm trees and growing coconut water, because coconut water is real expensive to buy in the supermarket. So if she had her own tree, she could grow her own. This
Right.
is her
True.
goal.
Government independence is important, so, the more you can grow your own food, the better you're off.
The
Coconut
better
plantation,
off you
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I'm surprised,
That self-sufficient life.
Lindy. I'm surprised your two goals and bring down the government. I would have thought that was
Well,
the ultimate
I never told you
goal.
what my pact with dark forces was.
To destroy the
goal.
U.S. government.
My patron has
Bring it to its
specific goals in
knees.
mind
This is going to be
that,
fun.
that
Olympus
disagree
will-
greatly with law and order. Let me just tell you that much.
Okay, then Vincent, please do tell us, what is your hope?
So yeah, I'm torn between amassing material for this material world, but due to my recent occult experience, I'm torn between that and learning the truth and getting that truth out to the world.
So you not only want to learn the truth, you want to spread the truth.
Yes.
I like that. That's interesting. Okay. I have asked some of this in advance, but I also want to know what your greatest fear is as your next question. I think, Geraldine, we talked about this, but do you want to let us know what your greatest
We
fear
did.
would be?
So her greatest fear, one specific kind of everyday kind of fear that she has is a fear of heights. She is really not a fan of being out in the open in very high places. And the other fear is she's afraid of the dark. So in a hotel/motel room, she usually falls asleep with the TV on or a light on. She doesn't like ever being in complete darkness. It makes her very uncomfortable.
Okay. And Cassie, what's your greatest fear? Well, about that pact. Yeah.
No, that is her greatest joy in life. One of her greatest fears is probably, she's not completely is upsetting Percy. She doesn't want to disappoint or upset him. She's also afraid of failure in service to her patron, and also some of her secrets getting out
Right.
before it's time for them to come out.
Right, before the apocalypse comes. Okay,
Basically.
Tom, what's Tom's fear?
This one's a little more awkward and complicated. I suppose his is to make sense. I suppose you could say to make sense
To make
of the
sense.
dreams.
It's
Yeah,
just
to make sense. I suppose because to make sense of the dreams. I suppose. If you get where I'm
might
going.
be like the truth, his past.
Yeah, his past. He's probably quite scared of his past.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. And what about Vincent's greatest fear?
Well, being that he's highly superstitious, I gotta say that his biggest fear is to be on the wrong or in the losing team when it comes to karma or celestial order or whatever you got,
Right.
and being damned.
You fear damnation.
Exactly.
It's not a bad thing to fear. I mean, some pretty hardcore stuff right there. Okay, cool. Next question in question time is, what is a secret that you would never tell? Jolene, what's your secret you wouldn't tell? You wouldn't want the others to find out about, or your friends to find out about. That would be sort of, embarrassing, awkward, or doesn't have to be linked to your dark secret. It could be, once upon a time I stole a shirt and I feel bad about it.
I think one of her
By the way, I've never
darkest-
stolen a shirt.
No, we know. You paid for those shorts, fair and square. We know.
Never been proven.
I know better.
I think that one of her darkest secrets is probably that she cheated to finish her high school diploma. She wrote all the answers all up her legs and slowly pulled up her skirt And when the guy managing the exam walked past and saw it, he was too busy like looking at the fact her skirt was like all the way up and didn't notice all the notes all over her legs. And she got away
Okay.
with
What the
it.
hell
But
kind
she-
of school did you go to?
I went to an all-girls school.
Some
But,
crazy shit.
But yeah, so she's like pretty ashamed of that, and she never wants anyone to know, because she's kind of used to being called dumb, and that's like a reinforcement of, well, maybe I am, because I couldn't do it without cheating. I think she
Gotcha,
doesn't know
gotcha.
she could have done it without cheating. She cheated, so she'll never know.
Right. Okay, Cassie, what's a secret you wouldn't tell the others? Maybe one that isn't your dark secret. 'cause
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
that
not my
you probably
big
wouldn't tell them
secret.
that.
Oh, she would never tell anybody that. Anybody. Gosh, a secret. Gosh, I don't know.
We can come back to you if you want to take a minute.
Yeah, let's do that. I need a minute.
Okay, Tom, you got one for Tom?
Kinda, I guess.
Sure.
I guess he doesn't want people to realize just how simple he is, I suppose you could say.
So your
So
secret is that you're kind of
he's
he's not
dumb.
actually that
He-
like
he-
keyed in. He's kind of dumb.
Yeah, he's not particularly smart.
Is he like
Yeah.
a faux intellectual though, where he like likes to make it seem like he's smart, but he secretly knows that he's not?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. He's again. It kind of plays into the fact that it's almost like he's relearning everything all over again.
Right.
And he doesn't like the idea of people treating him less because of that, if that makes sense. So he likes to hide the fact that he's not as intellectual, I suppose you could say,
Right.
as,
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah. That makes sense. What about Vincent? Vincent strikes me as a guy that might have a secret.
Oh, a couple.
Or 50.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing he's actually most embarrassed to admit is that he's highly terrified of technology. Like,
Oh, it's like a technophobe.
yeah, and he realized that's something silly. He sees people, carrying iPods and iPhones or whatever. He still has this Walkman with cassettes because he thinks that if you plug something to your computer, people will come in and steal stuff from you.
Right. Right.
And he also,
I love how suspicious regular.
and also,
Stupid fact.
technology and science kind of clash when it comes to the spiritual side that he recently discovered. So that that contributes to him being distrusty of all that stuff.
You don't want the radio waves to throw off your chi.
Yeah, totally. Aluminium tinfoil hat.
So it seems like all of us have a healthy distrust of big government, possibly big sort of corporations as well. Don't seem super trusting of. Where does that come from? Where's that come from Cassie? And like her fear of, the man coming after her. And...
It's just they're so controlling and regimented, and it's just too much law and order, not enough chaos and freedom. It's just mostly from her own occult research, as she is an occultist. She's just too much wrong with the government. Not enough truth. It's all lies. It's lies built on more lies. It's lies on top of lying icing. It's a lie cake. It's like casserole of lies. It's just layers.
Right. Yeah.
And control. They want to control everything. Casseroles don't control shit. So
Right.
yeah, I think her secret would be that she is kind of responsible for the disappearance of 2 people.
I will make a note of that. Responsible for the disappearance. of 2 people. Interesting. Are they still looking?
Probably not. Real small town. If you don't find them in Mississippi, you assume the Gators got them.
Gotcha. And how long ago was this?
Oh, years ago, but now.
Right.
Probably about a decade or so.
Gotcha. 10 years ago. That's the topic of a fucking Forensic Files episode. Good. Okay, that's good for us to know. Or not know, at least for now.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. At this point, is there anything else you guys would like to add, like secrets, ambitions-wise, or fears-wise as well? If there's anything else that's jumped up while you've been thinking, let us know.
I would say that through things that she witnessed her husband doing, I think Jolene has possibly witnessed something occult. I don't know if she understands it, but she's definitely seen something dark and weird from beyond the illusion.
Yes. So that actually feeds into this next part here as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about, because some of you have had occult experiences one way or another, and I'd like to know a little bit more about the nature of those experiences, whether that was a vision that you saw, a nightmare that you've had, something that you've witnessed in person, someone performing a ritual or a spell or something strange looking. Whatever that may be, it's one of the first glimpses of the reality that your characters may have had, and be able to tell other characters about. And bear in mind that this doesn't have to be fully fleshed out, because it's likely to be something fleshed out within the story itself. So it might be, you have a vision of something, a creature on a bridge, something like that, at night, and you don't know what it means, but that's something for us to use later on. So, Jolene, what do you think this experience might have been like if your husband maybe was involved with it?
I think it was maybe like late one night. She went. I think the basement's too obvious. I think maybe she went out to like the pool house, and in there was just this really strange energy. And I think for most of it, like her brain's kind of shut out parts of it, so she just has images like walking into the pool house of like just a lot of blood, and just hearing like chanting or like words that she didn't understand. Right. And then after that, she had a really bad run-in with her husband, so she knows like she wasn't meant to have seen something, and he knows that she saw whatever she saw. So she knows it was real, but she doesn't really understand it, and she doesn't quite remember exactly the experience. I think she probably ran away fairly quickly to get out of there.
Yeah, maybe in the event that sort of made you run. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cassandra, you strike us as someone that may have had an occult experience, being an occultist.
What? Okay, yeah, definitely. She is very heavily into occult experiences. When she was younger, she was kind of worked at her antique shop. Was also one of those like get your fortunes and spells and stuff here kind of shop, like one of those things. And she definitely has the occult experience, Dark Secret, which that isn't much of a secret, honestly. She's also a involuntary medium, so the spirits kind of possess her at times and speak through her, particularly basically her patron.
Right.
He comes to say hi a lot and say things through her. She's also haunted and dabbles in the occult and can see auras. She has magical intuition, so she's very aware of a lot of occult things.
Right.
She's a
good.
glow.
Okay.
How about the theme?
Yeah, no, I like it. Involuntary medium. That's so much better than a voluntary medium.
It is.
Fantastic. Tom, has had visions or dreams or?
Yes, he
something?
has quite regular dreams.
You're a dreamer too?
Of a very unsettling. I suppose you could say dreams/nightmares because they're very unsettling. Where obviously he wakes up, and another. There is a reason why he's constantly on the move. He doesn't know why, but he gets this sense that danger is coming if he stays in a place for too long, and he kind of just gets this urge to just keep on moving, and then he leaves that place, and that's why he's basically constantly on the move, never staying in one place for too long. I wouldn't say that he's specifically seen something that's full-on occult, like a demon or something, but he does again get these nightmares, and this just very, it's just this feeling that he needs to move on. That's probably the extent that he's experienced.
The dreams get better when you move on.
Yeah. So as I move to a new location, the dreams are a lot more set. They're still very unusual and strange and leave him completely confused. But the longer he stays in one place, the worse the dreams get, until it gets to a point that he can't continue, and then he just moves on to the next place.
Awesome, cool. And what about Vincent? He's into the. Oh, is Sam disconnected? Maybe he's like that way. He looks like he's standing very, very still.
Statuesque.
Yeah, statuesque. It's a good face to be paused on.
Right.
That's okay. We'll get back to Vincent in a moment about his occult experience. Sounds like we've all had a occult experience or two. Just
I do rituals on a regular basis.
What happens in those rituals?
Just stuff like involving my pact with dark forces.
Does the patron have a name that you call it?
Yes, he has
What do you
many
call it?
names. Hold on, I have a PDF with all the names on there. So Chaos Incarnate is my personal favorite. It's also, the Inheritor, the Shapeless One, Havoc, Reaper, the Discordant. There's a bunch. Yeah.
Pick one. Yeah, pick what you like. Yeah.
Let's go with Chaos Incarnate. Let's go with that one. That's
Alright.
good.
Yeah.
All the names. There's
Got a
so many. We
ring
have
to
like 30 names. We change it up
Yeah,
because
yes.
you can't call them the same
That's a good
thing
one.
more than once because that's too predictable.
It's rude.
It's not chaotic
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, gotta keep it fresh. That's the whole deal.
Yeah. The Inheritor.
Don't wear it out. Yeah.
Pruitt says the
Don't wear it
Inheritor.
out.
That's his favorite. So we'll go with that one.
I like it.
Entropy's Wake. Yeah, he knows. He's in the chat. He knows.
Yeah. Good. Okay. That's a good thing to have.
Very
It's
devoted.
Chaos Incarnate as your patron.
Yes.
And he protects you as well?
Yeah. I mean, there's definite benefits to having Soldier's Soul to Chaos Incarnate. Magic,
Totally.
which is one of them. And you're 5 people away. Okay. Basically, she kind of acts as the voice for his will here. Because he possesses her as a medium and speaks through it.
Is part of her sort of gospel to spread the word as well, or is it to keep it secret?
I don't say it's necessarily to keep it secret, but a lot of people aren't ready for the truth. So you gotta kind of sow those seeds of chaos and disharmony and discordance and show the truth, rip the veil asunder before, you can really proselytize.
Right. You're waiting for the winter of discontent to
Yeah.
bring that about. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she and the power is too much for one individual, so she and Percy, contain it. Split between them.
Right. Yeah. Between the two.
Yeah, he's the
guys.
vessel. I'm the voice.
That's good. It's super cute. Yeah, Jolene, you wanted to mention something?
Yeah, it's not a cult. Well, it could be a cult related, but Jolene has a stalker. which is part of the reason she's keeping it kind of quiet in her little motel hopping ventures. So yeah, I don't know if that is something that came out of what she witnessed, or if that's something to do with her husband, or just a mysterious fan she picked up along the way. But
what does this stalker look like? Have you got a good look at them?
she doesn't know. She has kind of only seen it like the generic hoodie and jeans, and had kind of menacing messages so far to alert her.
That is creepy.
It's definitely like the stalker at the level of not brave enough to confront her directly yet so far, but she knows it's not fun territory. And because she doesn't know who it is, she's like, yeah, do not want.
And she moves around a lot, and despite that, the stalker's always there, which is...
Yeah, and I think that feeds into like part of why she's so afraid of the dark, because anything can be in the dark. You can't see it.
Yeah,
so keep that light on, and you know what's in the room.
Okay, cool. Vincent, before you left, I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to ask about your occult experience. Obviously, you're into the tarot and also now like crystal healing and stuff like that. But what was the experience like? Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, my internet exploded. So sorry about that. See why Vincent doesn't trust technology. Essentially, what Vincent did, I went to a fortune teller out of a joke, out of a bet among the few friends I had, and everything she said became true on one particular hit. Everything. And the thing that surprised him the most, or surprised me the most, was that there was not the usual occult mumbo jumbo in this particular fortune teller shop. No crystal ball, no Ouija board, not even tarot cards.
Interesting. I like that a lot. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So one thing that I wanted to tell you was that the only thing that was quite remarkable or recognizable about the shop was this heavy smoke with this heavy incense odor.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, and the same smell came a couple times, when robbing houses and doing criminal stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not learned to associate that smell with something else. Okay. Cool. Next question. We'll move on to our next game here in a minute. But I want to know who your closest friend in the world is. Who's your best friend? Someone that you could trust or rely upon. If you don't have a close friend, maybe you have like an ally or someone that you kind of trust. Jolene, who's Jolene's greatest friend, and is she still in contact with them?
I think Jolene's greatest friend is the new friend she's met here, and why she's still at this hotel. I think someone in the chat suggested somewhere in Indiana, so I'm going with that's where she is right now, is somewhere in Indiana. And it's the clerk at the motel called I'm gonna say her name is Karen, and that's her new best friend. And they gossip, and Jolene just keeps making up what her life is, not wanting to tell the truth, but she's kind of like living through the fiction she wishes was true.
Oh, right. Yikes. Yeah.
But she kind of like feels a little bit normal because Karen has such a normal life.
Right.
So yeah, Karen is her current best friend. And she genuinely is like, I love this person. This person is kind of the person I want to be, but also just, someone I can actually talk to. But she definitely is very cautious about telling too much of the truth.
Yeah. Okay. Cassie, obviously Percy may be your greatest friend in the world, but you have other people that you know. Out of them, who's your Who's your greatest friend?
Probably her cousin Roscoe Price.
God damn it, Brett. Yes, I will write down Roscoe.
Roscoe Price. He's my cousin. He runs the antique store in Pascagoula, Mississippi, because we're on the road so much. We need someone at the main base of operations to maintain it. He's the one we trust to kind of do all that stuff, and not ask questions. And he's very supportive, because, yeah, you know how it goes.
He's a good guy.
He's great.
Okay, cool.
Roscoe, good cousin.
Yeah, love it. Tom. Oh, and this circles back as well. I wanted to ask Thomas and Jolene. Do the two of you keep in touch, seeing as you're like foster kids, or is it something that like contact has been lost?
I think contact's been lost.
Yeah, I think they've lost contact.
Ghosted her. Just
I
never
think
replied.
maybe like there was like the last time she heard from him was like a call from like a payphone. He'd gotten like enough quarters, and there was like one last payphone in the world, and that was what he chose to use. And it was not long, I think, before she left her home. And kind of since then, she hasn't heard from him, and she hasn't been able to obviously contact him because he's more transient than she is.
That's good. But Tom, who's your greatest friend in the world?
Mr. Fibbles, a sock puppet.
That's terrifying. Explain.
Yeah.
What's there to explain?
Your best friend is Mr. Fibbles, the sock puppet. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, the problem he has is that he constantly is on the move, so he doesn't make friends, and he doesn't stay friends with anyone. He's a very lonely...
So it's Jolene maybe is your only friend?
Probably, yeah. That would be the closest that he's got. I mean, he has acquaintances, but yeah, that'd be it. He really doesn't have anyone. He's a very lonely individual.
You're painting a pretty terrifying picture of a homeless dude who has a sock puppet who's just going around trying to
even
learn
homeless
shit.
dudes need friends, you know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He does. Yeah, he really doesn't have anyone really.
Okay, and Vincent, who is your friend?
My best friend right now, she's called Pauli Knight. She sells crystals. And we have such a great relationship that she even tried to tell me that, you know, this stuff doesn't work really. But I don't believe her. She's just, you know, playing with me.
Right. Cool. All right, and then you know what's coming next then after greatest friend is who's your greatest enemy? You have a nemesis or someone out there that's out to get you. Maybe you've crossed them before, or maybe they've crossed you before. Jolene, I get a sense that this may be your husband for you. With Mr. Magneto.
Yeah, 100%. It's Joe. Yeah.
And all this stalker.
And the stalker, yeah. Also not a friend.
Also not friendly. Or too friendly. What about you, Cassie?
I'm muted. Oh, greatest enemy. Well, there's the man. You know, the government.
Greatest enemy is the man, yeah.
The man. I'd like to think so. There could be somebody else with Fruit, and I haven't talked about that yet. So, not off the top of my head. I can update you if we think of somebody.
Yeah, okay.
We hate the man. He doesn't like us. 'Cause we're very self-sufficient.
Does Thomas have an enemy? Someone that's he's wronged when he was traveling somewhere before and he skipped town to get away from them, or doesn't he make enemies?
He doesn't really make enemies. He really doesn't. He's a very simple and gentle soul, I suppose you could say. It's possible that
Just like Tom fucking Bombadil. He's
yeah, except he doesn't sing and dance and go, what are they here?
It's fair.
I mean, I suppose maybe if he thought some people thought he was starting to make friends and then he left because of the nightmares without saying anything. Maybe that. But I wouldn't say that as an enemy. They may just be annoyed at him, but not so much an enemy.
Right. Okay. And Vincent, man in your line of business, bound to have some enemies.
Well, first and foremost, the law.
Right. Yep.
And maybe some of Mr. M for Magnolia Associates, perhaps. But
Yep.
nothing worse than the old classic law enforcement officer.
Yeah, there's got to be a cop out to get you who's got a personal stake in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They've been trying to catch this guy for years. I like it. There's definitely your face and name up on a board somewhere in a police
Totally.
police room trying to track you down. All right, that works well. And Worldview gives a magic item for Tom. The sock puppet is a tear in the lie and is indestructible. So for somewhere along the line, Tom, you actually did pick up this sock puppet. It seems to bring you good luck. It even helps the dreams go away for a little while when you cuddle close to it at night.
That's why it's my best friend.
Yep. And his name was Mr. Fibbles?
Mr. Fibbles. Bonus if you know where that's from. Navinta knew.
All right.
Navinta knew.
Mr. Fibbles. Terrifying. The scariest thing that came out of the session so far is definitely Mr. Fibbles.
Mr. Fibbles is kind of
if
terrified.
I'm doing an intrigue map for this, I am. In chapter 7, I think they encourage you to make an intrigue map, which is basically all the lists of connections for the characters that you've come up with. So I'll try and show you guys. I'm writing like a fucking mad person right now. This looks like I have probably killed at least 3 people already, and I've got a couple more on my list when the police find us. After my inevitable breakdown.
Are you going to kill people because you ran out of space on paper?
Yeah, it's possible.
Can't write it,
We're
so
running
dead.
pretty low. Yep, cross them out. The final end. Okay, well, let's move on then after we've asked any questions. Oh, and by the way, if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask as well, feel free to. But we'll come back to that. Let's play. So normally we play character Never Have I Ever, but this is just real world people. So we're going to play Never Have I Ever. The game is I ask the question about a thing which maybe you've done. If you've done it, you raise your hand, and then you explain to the group when you did that and maybe why you did that thing as well. Also, if you guys in chat have any Never Have I Ever questions that you would like asked to the characters, then put them in chat and I'll see if I can get some of your ones here as well. Also, players, if you have a Never Have I Ever question that you'd like to ask as well, either because you'd like to learn something about another character or you want to sort of drive towards something that your character's doing, then also let us know. So let's start with an easy one. Never have I ever broken a law? Oh. little hand there from Vince, a little hand. All right, let's start with Jolene. So Jolene, what was the law you broke? Why did you break it?
Jolene is guilty of a crime, and her crime is that she stitched someone up for something. And it was part of escaping her husband. Was she kind of tried to stitch up her husband, but I don't think that quite works. But she definitely got one of his associates by dropping some untruths into the ear of a friendly policeman, and using some evidence that she had access to kind of cement the prison cell grave of these people.
Right. Interesting. Cassandra, what's a law you break? Why'd you break it?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure she's probably stolen a couple things.
Sure.
You know, you go to so many estate sales, and the kids never know what Grandma had in the attic. They're never gonna notice if this eccentric item that might have some occult power goes
Wow.
missing. If they never knew
You're
it was
the
there.
worst. Yeah. You actually steal grandma's jewelry. Like,
Only if it's got like some occult presence to it. If it's
Sure.
got the right aura, I'll nick it. And you know, illegal parking overnight with their camper van. Probably lots of traffic violations, but that's probably more in Percival than Cassie. So, you know, there's a plethora, and always because, you know, fuck the man and the government and the law and order, and yeah, it's convenient.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Tom?
And maybe accidentally killing people, but that hasn't happened in a long time.
Like 10 years?
Like 10 years.
Yeah, it's like 10 years ago.
That goes off your record, doesn't it? After 10 years, accidentally.
Yeah.
killing someone.
Well, they never find out. They never, you can never
Well,
do
yeah.
Okay.
Where do I begin? Trespassing, theft, indecent
yeah, that
exposure. God, probably a litany of littering. Lots of things that
Public
hobos
nuisance.
and public nuisance. Yeah.
Littering's the worst.
Breaking and entering.
Trespassing.
Yeah,
Trespassing.
trespassing. Just thing of a minor. Breaking and entering isn't minor, but think of anything that's a minor not felony, but breaking the law, and he's done it.
Jaywalking. Loitering.
Jaywalking, loitering,
Jaywalking and
everyone's-
littering are the worst too.
Yeah. He's done it all.
And I think we know Vincent's crimes.
Well,
Didn't fill out his tax form.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
taxes.
Tax evasion.
well, I can say which crime he never committed, like hurting somebody physically.
Right.
Otherwise, his Netflix account is not even his. So, yeah, you got the picture.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I like when it's easier just to say like one
Mandela.
crime you haven't done than it
Yeah.
is to list the crimes you have.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've gone a little too far. Okay. Well, seeing as you've broken the law, then I'll ask never, have I ever been arrested? Have you been arrested for a crime that you committed or didn't commit? Yeah. Okay, Vincent, have you been in and out of jail several times, or have you just been arrested, never charged? Vincent, have you
sorry.
been? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, mostly never been in prison though, but yeah, spent a couple of nights.
Right. Night in a jail.
Yeah.
Okay. What about? It's a similar story for you, Tom, or are you like a hardened
similar.
criminal?
No.
So-
Similar story. It's a few nights in the cell, or one night, and then they just tell me to push off, or
Right,
Yeah.
you're just drunk and or naked. Sounds
yeah.
pretty much yourself. Okay, good. Oh yeah, never have I ever been in a fight, like a physical altercation with someone before. Doesn't have to be one that you're arrested for. It wasn't necessarily a crime, but also something I wanted to ask in case you guys have a bit of a brawler in you. Yeah, Tom, what have you thought?
I mean, as you travel around, you're gonna meet some, people that are not very nice. I wouldn't say that he was so much. So this person came up to him, and you get in the fight here, and Thomas doesn't go around actively looking for a fight, but he has also never lost one. So someone will come up
Right.
acting, because he's not a very big person, he's quite lean, he doesn't look very imposing. But when they start a fight, like some drunk, big, fat person or whatever, there's a surprising speed and strength to Thomas, and he never wants to do it, but eventually something kind of just kicks into him, and he lays him out.
Never lost a fight. Impressive. What about Vincent? Describe this altercation for us.
Well, he did lost a lot of fights. That's why right now he carries a gun, but it's charged with blanks. So
Gotcha.
when shit hits a fan,
He's ready.
it's all show though.
Right. Yeah. Cool. This question is really the true mark of a person I found. Whether or not they've committed crimes, whether or not they've done bad things, this act above all else will let us know the kind of person that you are. Never have I ever snapped at a waiter.
Ooh.
Are you a waiter snapper?
Never been in a restaurant to have a waiter serve me.
Wow.
So, Cassie Sue hasn't, but I'm about 85-90% positive that Percy is a waiter snapper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jolene
Okay.
has the advantage of ice cold, so I'm pretty sure she doesn't have that kind of temper
Right.
to snap our waiter. She would just hold it and save it for a Yelp review, you know?
Right. But she will go and fill out the Yelp review.
I didn't think she would even do that, but yeah, I didn't think that's her.
It's good. We actually have good characters today.
Yeah,
Definitely.
she's not one of those people that will threaten to do a poor Yelp review, but never have truly intent of doing it. They're the
So
lowest of the low.
Just gonna write down on the intrigue map next to Pruitt's name. Wait.
I mean, you can ask him to double check, but I'm pretty
That's happening
positive.
too.
I was thinking about the subject of the fights. I'm pretty sure Jolene has been in some sort of physical altercation, but I'm not sure it's a fight
Yeah.
if you can't really fight back.
Yeah.
It's more
Same.
like she's been around those violent.
More like a
incidents,
beating
but-
than a fight.
Yeah, more like a beating. I think it's probably a more accurate description of what happened.
Okay. So, all right, next one. Never have I ever betrayed a friend, or indeed anyone really betrayed someone. Betrayed someone before, yeah. Traitorous. A lot of traitors amongst us tonight. Jolene, who did you betray?
I think it was
Right.
probably one of Joe's friends, in addition to Joe. But I think when she did the
Right.
the start ploy, that was a massive betrayal. And I think she kind of got to the point where it probably affected like a lot of people's lives that she hadn't quite imagined it was going to. But yeah, there were a lot of burnt bridges in that betrayal.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Okay, Cassie, who you betrayed her?
Percy. But he doesn't know.
Thanks.
So let's just not let that get out.
I mean, you're just throwing ammunition at Will here. It's just...
Will already knew that. He read the books. But yeah, no, she betrayed Percy. She's like, hey, doesn't this sound fun? Let's do this thing. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then it wound up being super cult and not just fun girlfriend stuff.
Right. I can't carry any more ammunition. Getting an error code here is fantastic. Vincent, who have you betrayed?
Just kill your soul, it's fine.
Right.
Well, Vincent has betrayed a couple people, but never in major stuff. Like nobody has ever gone to jail.
Right.
But taking a bigger cut out of a job, it's very common for him
Right.
without telling
he's-
anybody.
Right. He's sort of screwing them over, but not sort of in such a manner that would. You're already thieves, so there's no,
Was this the difference
Yeah.
between like screwing someone over and fucking someone over? Is that where we're at? A betrayal scale?
Oh yeah,
I
totally.
don't know the
Yeah.
terminology. I'm
You
not
got-
intimately
you
familiar
got
with
there.
it, but it sounds like that. Screwing definitely seems
Netflix.
lighter.
You got
Yeah.
their Netflix and crime, and then over there, you got
Right.
Dirty
fucking
filthy
somebody else.
snitch.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vincent is not a snitch.
Good. Snitching's the worst.
Yeah.
Mm. All right. Well, let's So that's another question then. Never have I ever been a bully or bullied someone. Been a bad person to someone. Nope. We're all good. Cassie's like a little. I feel like
Maybe.
I feel like if when asked if you're a bully, that you shrug your shoulders. It's leaning towards yes for me.
I imagine she was more when she was younger, but she kind of grew out of it.
Right, it's like a high school sort of.
I think
Yeah.
maybe during Jolene's Stepford wife phase, maybe there was a little bit of that bullying that goes on.
During the Stepford days.
Her cake has like soggy bottoms, and she'll make sure everyone else knows, that kind of thing.
Oh. Brutal. In England, that
She
is
turned up
absolute
15
defamation.
minutes late and brought the $6 wine.
Right. Mary Berry would have a fucking field day.
I think that's about as far as Jolene's bullying went.
About as far as it's good. Yes, that's good. It's good to know you guys are, for the most part, good people. Except for all of the betrayal and murders and crimes. Putting that aside. So, never have I ever... This is one from chat, by the way. Never have I ever manipulated anyone, emotionally or magically, for personal gain. Just 2 hands, straight up, from almost all of us, except from Thomas. Okay, so Jolene, who have you... give us one example. It seems like there's a lot of manipulations going in there.
I think it's just kind of, Jolene doesn't always do it intentionally, but she's definitely talked her way out of a few tickets. She won round Joe a few times, back in the earlier days of their marriage. She's, you know, sweet talked her way into free rooms at motels. Just, if she can sweet talk her way out of a problem, that's what she'll do. So manipulation is definitely her, like the exam thing almost. I imagine like he looked at her legs and she probably like tilted a little bit, so he wouldn't look at the notes and would look at thigh instead, that kind of thing.
Right. Get the thigh shot in while you can, yeah. Okay, so her relationship with her husband, was that always bad? Did she sort of, charm her way into that and then realize that she was in too deep? Were they ever sort of in love or even at all sort of friendly?
I think to begin with, she thought they were. And she thought he was like this great businessman, and like she was like a beauty queen, and she's like, this is great, this is like perfect, we're gonna get our perfect house, we'll have perfect children. And then like the truth of it all started kind of coming out, and it all started getting a bit darker, and I think she got a bit darker with it as well, and started turning blind eyes to things and kind of trying to manipulate his mood to get things that she wanted. If she was going to put up with crap, she was going to try and twist it in her favor, and then it didn't really work out very well.
Yep. Okay. We had Cassie with emotional manipulation / magical manipulation.
Yeah.
Give us some examples.
Percy and maybe 2 people, like 10 years ago or something. And of course, it's a very good sales tactic, because estate sales and antique deals are, it's not the easiest business to go into. You have to make people form emotional attachments to items, old items, and that kind of thing, or let go of those attachments if you want the piece. So she's done a lot of that. Both the business life and personal life.
Yeah. And Vincent, where does your manipulation come out?
So before the occult experience, Vincent saw manipulation like some sort of rite of passage among the youngsters. Like he would, screw somebody, not fuck, and then actually tell him, I got more out of this job because this is the nature of the business. Now that he's more of a believer, he actually toys a lot with occult stuff. Whether it works or not, probably not. But he believes that it's starting to influence people.
Interesting. Okay, and no manipulation from Thomas, at least not intentional. Okay. Then
To be
this is another
fair,
good question.
I only manipulate Percy to make sure he's happy.
right. That's
Oh boy.
happiness. Get happiness in a long-term relationship for sure. Magical manipulation. Okay, here's a question from chat as well. Never have I ever been in love. Ooh. Thomas again, the only one. Just never been in love. Sad boy. We'll get to that sad story in a moment. Jolene, when have you been in love?
She loved Joe, and I think she probably loved someone else before that. I don't have a name or a story in mind right now, but I think definitely growing up, there was someone before Joe that she loved quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of since then, not so much.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's... I'll think about the details more for you. But...
Yeah, of course. Cassie.
Percy. Percival Randolph Stewart III. Yeah. So deeply in love, but we'll never get married because fuck the government, fuck the man. We don't need your certified institutional tax, whatever. So there's that. I think she also probably had a pretty intense fling when she was in her early 20s.
Are you in love with your patron?
Probably a little bit. More like an awe factor.
Just straight away.
Probably a little bit. Not in
really
the same
happy
way,
that.
but yeah.
Right, in like a devotion sort of.
Yeah, in a devoted kind of way. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's very serious about that.
Yeah, obviously it's a serious matter.
You don't just sell your soul without completely knowing what you're getting into.
Right.
committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment.
It's a permanent thing.
More commitment, but not as much
It's
as
a very
marriage.
commitment. Yeah. Well, see, we don't need marriage to symbolify our commitment.
Symbolify.
Yeah.
I love it.
Symbolize.
I love people actually come out with that. It's great. Symbolify. All right, let's see. Vincent, when have you been in love? Or are you still in love?
With prostitutes. Haha.
Oh, he's fallen in love with person of the night. So is that like real love, or is that just like a vice that he has?
No, I gotta say it's more like a romanticization or idealization
Right.
of the various people he is with.
Right. Falling in with the wrong crowds, sort of. Is that his sort of greatest vice then?
I gotta say that the thing that takes most of his money right now are pseudosciences.
Right. Yep. Interesting. And let's hear a sad story about Tom. Tom, you've never been in love. Have you ever been close?
Not even with your suck.
No, he just doesn't feel that way about people.
Fucking hell, it's Doug.
It's just what
In
he
what
is.
way doesn't he feel that way? Is he incapable of feeling it, or is it just he's not interested in romantic connections, or is it just actual?
He is never. It's more that he's never experienced it yet.
Right.
You got to keep in
How
mind
old
the
is Tom,
people.
actually?
You got to keep in mind the people he is around a lot.
Yeah, how old are you?
I would. How old is Jolene?
Jolene is 30 years old.
30.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put him around that. I'd put him around 31. Something like that.
Wow, way to one up Charlie, Tom.
All right, 29.
31.
Then.
I'll be 31. Now you want to be younger than that? Wow.
Sure.
Be my
why not?
toy boy.
I'll be your toy boy. I'll be 29 then. 29 and 3/4.
That's very
God,
important when you're kids. 3/4 difference.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah.
Super is.
I'm not going to touch that one. All right, how old is Cassie?
Mid-30s.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's probably like 35, 36.
Yeah. 35. Okay, I was wondering if it was like an honest 35 or if she was like,
Yeah, I mean, really, when you think about
she was
it,
actually 50, but she says that she's
No.
mid-30s could be
He's mid- so, like,
39 and a half,
yeah.
can they?
No, that's late 30s.
Yeah, try telling that.
That's
to
just
some
no. That's just
9.5-year-old.
30s.
Oh, okay.
That just becomes 30s, right? That's how. That's how the
No,
math on that one.
she's
Okay, okay.
legitimate mid-30s, probably like 35, 36.
Okay. And what about Vincent?
Vincent is 27 and he is Scorpio.
Scorpio.
That's
He knows his
important.
fucking birth chart.
What, you're a Bond villain?
Totally.
Nice.
Glad to see you.
Yeah, what's Cassandra's star sign, Lundy?
I'll have to think about that one. I don't know off the top of my head. But I'll get back
You're
to
like
you on
a
that one.
Virgo to me.
I don't know them well
Don't-
enough. All I
don't
know
you
is that I'm a
start this,
Pisces IRL.
I get enough of this shit. So,
Thank God.
Just for you,
Let's
Will.
get back to
Just for
you.
you.
talk about our rising moons. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, this is a good one from chat. We had, have I ever been in love, but never have I ever compromised my morals for monetary gain. So, done something that wasn't right for the immediate gain of finances. Either doing something that you felt a little bit bad about,
Question.
maybe.
That the man told you wasn't right, or that you believed wasn't right? 'Cause there's a
Okay,
difference.
let's say that the man
Oh,
wasn't.
well, I didn't feel bad about it, but I've done plenty of things the man said which I shouldn't do.
Right. What about your own moral compass? But you're fine
No,
with all the things you
not
got
not
to
according to her own moral compass. No.
do. Right.
One,
That's-
she feels a little bad about betraying Percy. Just a little bit, but that's it. That's the only thing in her whole life.
Okay. Wow. That's still haunted. Let's jump to Tom. Tom, you had something that you've compromised your morals for. Once, I mean, if he's homeless, you might have to sort of compromise.
Well,
some.
yeah, it's kind of part and parcel of just survival. He breaks into places that he knows he shouldn't. He steals food that he knows doesn't belong to him. But it's just part and parcel of survival. He still feels bad about doing it. It hasn't. He has once or twice probably stolen literally candy from a baby in a park,
Right.
just to survive.
Was that to feed your sock puppet?
Yes,
It's like,
yes. My
Yeah, give me
Mr.
the candy,
Fibbles,
Thomas.
Mr. Fibbles lives on candy.
It needs flesh.
So yeah,
What?
I mean, he knows he's doing wrong, but he feels that he has to do it.
Like, how fucking long before there's some donation to make the sock puppet devour the flesh of children? Like 2 minutes? Like.
30 seconds.
How quickly
Yeah,
can I
okay.
input my PayPal info?
Right. That's the question. Sidebar. How do we know how old Percy is?
I'm not 100% positive. Prue will be able to tell you for sure, but I know he's in
We'll be
his
hearing
40s. Yeah, he's older than Cassie Sue.
Okay. Let's see. Vincent, you raised your hand there for compromising morals. Regular thieving that we know about, or is there another specific example you're thinking?
Well, the line that he won't cross was again betraying somebody else to the point that they will be totally fucked, or physical violence. Otherwise, everything is a free reign. Property theft.
Wow. Profit is theft. That's that's the man talking. I like it. Jolene, did you raise your hand there as well? Compromising
Yeah, I'm
morals?
kind of on the fence as to whether she really feels like it was like morally wrong. But she definitely went into one of the places in the house where Joe had stashed money, maybe like in the closet underneath some stuff, behind a fake panel, and took the money, and that was her running money. And
Right.
it's gonna quickly run out soon. That duffel bag is not bottomless, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the main problem with duffel
But
bags.
it was definitely like shady money. It probably doesn't feel good that that's what she's got. She feels good that she got one up on Joe, but she doesn't necessarily like where the money came from anymore, I guess.
Right. Yeah. It's all of us then. There's one in from chat. This is a little lighter. Never have I ever had a pet. Any of you have any pets for me to introduce? Yeah? Cassie, what's your... and don't say Percy. What's your pet?
He's 48, by the way. We got an answer from him.
48. Beauty.
Yeah. I like to think that Cassie Sue has had a lot of pets in her time growing up. Never without a pet.
Just go missing.
It's just what happens. Definitely has had some pet squirrels, cats, dogs. I mean, Mississippi's full of them. I think she currently doesn't, but definitely wants another one.
She's in the market.
Yeah, she's in the market. It's just hard to find something better than a goldfish for this, trailer home that we keep towing around, this camper van.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So, the fish, they just keep dying. I think it's because I keep forgetting to change the filter, but yeah, it happens, so it's fine.
I'll feed them, yeah, it's fine. Jolene, you had a pet?
Jolene has never been allowed pets. She grew up in a foster home and then lived in an apartment, and then she moved in with Joe, and Joe doesn't like animals, so she wasn't allowed a pet. A pet is definitely part of that dream life. She wants the dog, she wants the cat and the dog that mysteriously get along. Like, pets are like definitely on the wish list. She's got one of those mood boards with like cut out pictures of things she wants. Cats, dogs, hamsters, birds.
Yes. Is that a Pinterest board, or is that a physical board that she's manifesting?
I think she has a physical diary book that she has it manifested, but she definitely scrolls through Pinterest on her phone occasionally. Looks up chow chows and Persian cats, like the really fluffy pets is what she's craving. She wants that comfy, fluffy pet.
Right. Oh, question as well, I guess I should ask, which isn't really a never have I ever, but more of just a question. Do any / all of us, does anyone have like social media that they use? Like, do you guys have Facebook? Do you use Twitter?
That's just how they farm information from you. Why on earth we have?
Right.
No, it's just a ploy from the government.
I figured I should ask, seeing as you guys are sort of nutty enough to not be tracking. And Vincent's the same. He's terrified of technology. Doesn't like the idea of the man
we're
watching.
Not scared of technology. It's just being manipulated against us.
Right. You just know that it's bad. Yeah.
It's
not paranoia if they're actually out to get you.
It's exactly.
And Thomas presumably is so transient that he doesn't really have any kind of mobile device with easy internet and stuff like that. Jolene does though.
Yeah, I think she has a secret YouTube account that she started using to make like little vlogs. And she does like little clothing hauls and makeup looks. And she's got like a completely fake name, fake email address, and she's got her Pinterest board associated with that. She just can't help herself because she got really into YouTube, and then she's like, I could do this. I've just got to be really careful not to include where I am. So it's always in front of like a vanilla wall in the motel.
Right. What I got from the 7-Eleven. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
My 7-Eleven haul for this week. Guess what? I got the blue Slurpee today.
Impressive. But the rest of us seem like we're off social media for the most part for fear. Okay, so never have I ever had a vice. So there's another one in from chat. Whether you guys have some vice, whether it's gambling, drugs, sex, violence, or maybe it's like a lesser vice, something that you just know is like a guilty pleasure, maybe.
I think Jolene is a shopaholic and really vain.
Shopaholic.
Both of those things are true.
Yeah,
she's one of those people like she can't leave the house without a full face of makeup. She just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Sam.
No worries. Vincent is into gambling from time to time.
Okay, so he'll gamble.
And it ties with the whole luck and influencing the stars and your destiny and all that.
Right. He believes, he can like manifest good. He knows when the numbers are aligned to which hands to play, which dice to roll, that kind of thing. Yeah. Or at least he thinks he does. And I think no hands up from Cassie or Tom.
I think anything just her occult. She's pretty occult obsessed, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's a vice. It's just her thing.
Right. Well, Thomas, you've been living on the streets for a while. The temptation there is obviously to, or often the reason will sometimes be drug related. There's a whole world of that, which no doubt you've been exposed to. What's your experience with, the darker side of that?
That's actually pretty good. A drug, maybe not necessarily, but to help to sleep. And to help,
down, isn't it?
Yeah. Because
really
sometimes
hooked on that NyQuil.
Yeah, gotta get that NyQuil.
Mate, NyQuil's fucking mental. Like, so good.
So yeah, I mean, obviously he can always get what he wants, but
But it's something that he's maybe reliant upon. And
he's quite naive. So if he says, I'm having trouble sleeping, and someone says, this'll help you, he'll probably take it. He's quite naive.
Right. So he may be sort of a little bit reliant on those to like help him sleep now.
Yeah.
Because presumably they do actually, help you not have dreams. Is the
That's
goal?
It, yeah. It's not so much better dreams, but just have zero.
Yeah. Which is to say that maybe he's not addicted to the substance so much as he is what it does. The effect of.
Yeah, he doesn't
it's not
care
like a high that you're seeking.
Yeah.
It's a like a solemnity.
That's it. He doesn't care what it is, as long as the effect as long as it gets the same result.
Yeah. Interesting. That's good. Do you guys have any never have I ever questions for one another that you'd like to ask? Maybe something that you yourself know that you've done, or something that you suspect maybe another character has done. We can get it all out. Pruitt will be back in a minute, and then I want to interrogate him.
You just ram him through all the questions. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to have a quick fire round with Pruitt in a moment, but I'm sure you guys have some creative ideas for questions that you could ask of one another. And of course, if you guys in chat have any more that you'd like to ask as well, feel free to. We've learned a lot about them thus far, but I'm sure there's some things in their past that either not proud of, or maybe they are proud of.
Oh.
In fact, we could just ask the question: what are you most proud of? Seeing as we've talked about our vices, what is something that you guys are proud of? What would you say Jolene's most proud of? Is it her vlogs, her escape?
I think she's getting pretty proud of her vlogs, actually. She's like working to improve them quite a lot, and she's she's quite proud of that, and that there is something that she can do. She's not just, a wife or, crammed in a corner playing up with Joe anymore. She's kind of doing things, and she in her head, she's making this life work right now. This life is going great. She has somewhere to live. She's doing her vlogs. She's got her friend Karen. She knows where the mall is.
It's all going well.
It's going great in Jolene's world right now. I don't know if she has like a major event she's proud of, but I'm going to think about that, because I'm sure there must be something.
Okay. What about?
Oh, I know what she's super proud of. Jolene is totally a karaoke queen. She loves going to the karaoke bar and being karaoke queen. And naturally, she's a big fan of Dolly. But that's saved for special occasions.
Right. Okay, I like that one Raven will ask in a second. What about you, Cassie? What's something you're really proud of?
She's pretty proud of the business, antiques dealing. And it was a lot of hard work, especially all that paperwork and taxes. Because if you don't pay the taxes on the business, it's just... But, so she's pretty proud of being able to get through all that. she's very proud of her business, and
Okay.
of course her occult successes. Obviously, great
Yes.
achievements, accomplishments. Pruitt!
What about Pruitt's here? All right, we'll get to Percival in a moment here, and we'll do our lightning round with quick fire round with Percy. But Vincent, what's the thing that Vincent would be consider himself most proud of?
Having a criminal career without breaking his twisted sense of morals.
Interesting. And Thomas. Is he proud of anything?
It's a tough one. It seems like I'm not answering any questions, but honestly, I have to. He is not a particularly.
He's not a proud man.
Not really, no. He's not. I mean, there isn't anything really there for him to be proud about. I mean, I suppose. I'm supposed he's proud that he can go around and meet people and kind of, chat to people very, very easily, and he's proud that he's still alive, I guess.
Yep. Hasn't fallen into the same life as others around you in the same position.
Yeah.
So he's still, he's got most of himself still there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he's still mainly, he's sane. He's not an insane person. Whereas obviously he's seen people around him just go and fall and crumble into nothing. Even after doing all of this, he's still standing, he's still traveling, he's still smiling. So,
are you proud of Jolene?
The last he probably
Wait
heard
for it.
Jolene
Not really.
was. I mean, no, not really. Because
why not?
It's because he can't really remember much about Jolene.
Right.
So it's
Keep digging.
It's awkward. Yeah, it's
So,
awkward.
you're not proud of me. I'm not memorable.
No,
See how it is.
Wow.
no.
This friendship.
Sorry. This is it's just the way it is.
You never
Yeah.
call. You never write anymore.
It's not cool, man.
No.
It's not cool.
You haven't
All right,
subbed
then,
to my channel.
No, subscribe to the vlogs. God damn. Well, in this case, one last question for the group of us, and then we'll jump back to Percival. Is what is your greatest regret?
What's your greatest regret?
What is your greatest regret? Something that you could turn back, do all over again. If you had the chance
Okay.
in life. Hit us.
I got one. I think I've got one.
Yeah.
And it's going to tie into his
Do it.
greatest fear. His greatest regret is forgetting, which is also his greatest fear, is remembering.
Does he know that at some point he actively chose to forget? Or does he have that sense that maybe he made that choice and he regrets having chosen?
It is just a simply, there's a point where he woke up and everything before that was just a blank, and everything from that point to now is all he remembers.
And how long ago was that?
I would have to
Like
say
About
how
10
long
years?
ago? I would say it's probably been quite a while. Yeah, I'd say about 10 years. 10 years? Something like that.
About 10 years.
That scary 10-year gap in everyone's lives.
Yeah, about 10.
I like 10 years. Because we've got 10 years cropping up a couple of times now. That's good. All right. Okay, well, let's jump over to Percy. Percy, tell us about yourself in broad terms, and then we'll ask you some questions here.
Percival Randolph Stewart III. He is a man of, it's not charisma, it's like anti-charisma. He's just that kind of an asshole that tells it how it is, and people kind of like that about him. except the people that don't. And so, you know, he knows how to see through bullshit is the thing. Like he's very insightful. He has good perception. So he was always like interested in like antiques and everything as a hobby. Until a family member who was like a nerd, like a hospice nurse or something, like brought something home because one of their patients gave it to him, and they were having an estate sale, and he went over and checked it out, and he found a bunch of fun stuff, and it was one of those things where it's like a little bit later in life, he found his calling, so to speak, and that was like dealing with estate sales and antiques and things like that. So he started just doing that, and moving and shaking until one day he met a woman that would change his life forever. Her name was Cassie Sue, and he sold a few antiques, and then she asked him about certain types of antiques, very specific, with little things you should look for. And so he started doing that, and he found one or two things that were a little odd. Statues and the like, very interesting carvings on them, but everybody's into something, and he didn't really think anything of it until they started. I'm sure she's gotten into this part now. They started having coffee, and then she made a proposal, an offer he couldn't refuse, and it was only after that he doesn't even remember why it was a bad idea, because that's the problem. Is he has repressed memories. So,
right.
He's generally an asshole just because, but people would notice how he's particularly snippy with Cassie. And if asked about it, he would just be like, "What? We're fine. It's just our relationship." Like he does. It's that relationship. The kind of the dick boyfriend who's not really a dick. Oh, that's just Percy. That kind of thing. But obviously, there's some underlying issues there between them.
Every boomer relationship, got it. Yeah. Love it. Okay, cool.
So it's going to be an exercise in studying all of my family members.
Right. Hi, Mom and Dad. Yeah. Okay, this is good. This quick fire with Percy then. So, what's Percy's ambition? What's like his desire in life to achieve?
There is a very specific train engine that was created in 1901. There were only 5 of them. There are 3 known to exist. He knows where 2 of them are, and he will, by God, get one of them if it kills him, because it's a thing that he has wanted his entire life. Is an antique train set.
And that's just like a. Is there any particular reason for that, or is it just something that he's always wanted?
He doesn't even remember why. He probably just read about it when he was a kid. Like it was like a toy he saw as a kid, and his dad wouldn't let him have it, and he's always wanted it. And he had a chance to get one at an auction, and he got outbid by some asshole. One of those things. Like he had one chance to get it, and he couldn't. And that was kind of a driving force. He's like, I need to be able to get more money. I need to be able to get more influence. I need to be able to get more power. I will get this. Yeah.
For the train set, yeah.
Yeah, just for a train set.
Hey man, people do. If there's one thing I've learned from the generation above us, is that people do fucking crazy stuff for train sets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's wild.
Yep.
I watched a 60-something-year-old man a couple years ago at a Christmas party show off his entire train set, and he knew everything about it. And like, this is literally where this is coming from. And I sat back and I go, you know what? I'm not gonna be so hung up on painting minis and shit.
It's cool.
Okay. Everybody's got their thing.
Yep, absolutely. What is Percy's greatest fear?
His greatest fear? His greatest fear is like no one listening to him, no one giving his word heed. Paying heed to him. It's that general like powerlessness.
Wow. Yeah. That makes sense. Powerlessness. What is...
He died.
Did we lose Will?
We lost him. Oh, he's come back in. He's back. But he's
Destroying
muted.
Google Chrome.
Oh no, he's back. He's good.
That's us? Yeah, I'm back.
He's good.
Did a really good job of just deleting Google Chrome there for a minute. What was I asking you? I asked you your fear and then ambition. Let's see. Oh yeah, what's the secret you won't tell anyone else?
Secret he won't tell anybody else. He fantasizes about like all the women around him, but he'll never tell Cassie that. It's just like he's that asshole.
Yikes. Like the full-on like body turn, super obvious when...
Oh yeah, he's the boyfriend in the meme. Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. Good to know.
Can't
Let's see
say
what
anything
else.
about it because she doesn't want to upset Percy.
What is your greatest regrets, Percival?
I mean, I guess. Well, I don't know. I guess I already said that.
Right.
The one chance that he had for his to complete his ambition, and it slipped through his fingers. So like, yeah, he thinks about that auction every day. Should have just gone and gotten the Louisville Slugger. It was signed by Lou Gehrig, and just taking it to that guy's knee and just taking the train set. Maybe he should have done that. I don't know. Anyway, what was the next question? Sorry.
Okay, listen now. Have you ever? Normally, I never have. Seeing as you, have you ever broken the law?
Yes.
When? Why?
Growing up, he was a bit of a rapscallion. So general disorder, like breaking shit, just throwing, breaking people's windows just to be a shit. And then when he got older, typical like drunken disorderly conduct. Spent a few nights in holding tanks, things like that. But other than that, he's thought about he's thought about doing things, but he's never done anything like
We have
murder.
a lot of parking tickets.
Yeah, a lot of parking tickets. He kind of ignores those for the most part. You save them because this is what you do. You park illegally and you take one of the old ones and you put it under your thing, like you've already gotten the ticket, and therefore you don't get another ticket.
Smart, very smart. Have you ever been arrested committing any of these crimes?
Yeah. He spent a few nights in a drunk tank.
In the cell,
sure.
Yeah. But nothing, like hardcore sort of.
Yeah, not convicted.
No.
Yeah.
He's as far as crime though, misdemeanors for the most part. He has stolen a few things from like estate sales, things like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I said that too.
Like little
Let's see
knickknacks
Grandma's
and
attic.
things.
you
know.
thieving bastards.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're put in charge of a sale. There's no benefactor, so it's just auctioned off. And if you just slip one or two things that nobody's going to notice because they accidentally were left off of the inventory registry. I mean, these things happen.
This is probably one of the least evil things about inheritance law. Is you two. So relatively, you guys are killing it.
You got to find the niche.
Have you ever been in a fight? First, you ever fought anyone?
Yeah. I'm sure he's gotten drunk and he pisses off a lot of people. So yeah, he's gotten drunk.
Good. This is a real one. Have you ever snapped at a waiter?
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time. Oh, you're the worst.
All
No.
the time. Yeah.
We know who the real villain is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you ask for a steak medium rare and it doesn't come out medium rare, what was the point of asking the question? That's what I want to know. And that's what I usually ask them every time. If you're not going to listen to me, then why ask? And again, this feeds back into his powerlessness, right?
Right. He's. Yeah, he's one of those. Okay, have you ever betrayed someone, either a friend or an acquaintance?
He hasn't had too many friends in his life. He hasn't betrayed Cassie Sue. I mean, he has betrayed some clients, sure. I mean, he's stolen from them. But other than that, for the most part, no.
Interesting. Oh yeah, we asked one, have you ever been a bully? Have you bullied people? I mean, arguably the waiter situation is an answer to that.
I mean, I think that's an easy yes. He's been
Easy
a bully.
verbals. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you ever manipulated anyone emotionally or otherwise for personal gain?
Yes, this goes back to the whole his whole, estate sales
Cassie doesn't
thing.
look so bad now that her partner comes in, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
has he devalued certain pieces so they wouldn't pay attention to them? Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
I mean, who hasn't?
Okay,
I'm
here's a good
trying to
one.
figure out why you're together. I'm still trying to figure that part
Oh,
out.
no.
here.
That makes
Little
total
packing
sense
room.
to me why these two people are together. It makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
This is an
These are
internal
like
power struggle.
Yeah.
That's why they're
By-
together.
By the way, just
Every-
so everybody knows,
boomer relationship I've ever witnessed is like this.
exactly. She placates, I piss off. So here's the thing. I just want everybody to know that I am an amazing person at a restaurant. I hate people who are mean to waiters. Most of my friends were waiters, so do not worry. What I'm going to do is show you everything that I have ever seen or every story I've ever heard about a waiter being shit on or whatever. We'll just put it in new perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Percy, however, is not that kind of guy. That's okay. Yeah. Let's see then. Have you? I don't know if I asked you this one, Percy, but have you ever been in love?
Has Percy ever been in love? Not really. No.
Is he in love with Cassie?
He really likes her. They have a great time together, and he's hoping it becomes something more. But she usually burns his eggs, so we're gonna have to a talk about that
I know.
again.
Let's make a gravy casserole. It'll smooth everything over. It's his face.
This is like Christmas, like when you have to see all the family, and you ask yourself, like, have they ever been happy? It's like, no, not really. Not really.
Mm-hmm.
They've been married. Oh, they're not married, but like they've been together for like 20 years. But like,
We
they're
have-
not happy.
Yeah, we've been together for I don't know, like how long? Like, did you
About 10
say?
years.
Yeah, about 10 years. Yeah, that's about right.
Mhm.
Right. What is yours like greatest beef with Cassie? Would you say?
So it's the egg burning.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the egg.
I
surely.
mean, if I have to put a list together, the way she irons my pants, whatever. She usually wrinkles the paper before I get a chance to read it. And then she bought me a tablet for some reason. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. It's just get me a paper. It's right there. It's all printed out. I can look at it. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's little things. I couldn't live without her, but they add up.
Right. Well, it's just good to get insight into.
True
But on the other hand,
romantic.
it's Cassie like really loves him, right? That's,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Does
She's about
Cassie
it.
iron his papers for him? Get them nice and flat.
She tries. It depends on if she picks up.
It's 2019.
The man is asking for a paper and has strange standards, alright? Ex-Stepford wife in me needs
Not
to know.
that-
Does she
not
iron
that
his
strange.
papers?
You can trust the printed press better than. I mean, anyone can edit Wikipedia.
Right.
What pages on Wikipedia did you edit, Cassie Sue?
Oh, I don't edit. I don't. The internet is just a conspiracy. It's fine. So they can.
It's just so they can track where you are. That's all it is.
Exactly.
All right, Percy, have you ever compromised your morals for monetary gain?
Does
Or
he
personal gain?
Does he have morals?
That's what I was like. Are we talking about
Right,
what the
right.
man says or what? Because no.
I mean, you know, I guess yes. I mean, he kind of felt bad the first couple of times he like ripped off a client, but it gets
Got easier.
easier. Yeah. The more you do anything, the easier everything gets.
Right. Have you ever had a pet, or do you have a pet?
No, dogs don't like me. Neither do cats, usually.
And the fish we had kept dying, and because it's a
Mhm.
camper fan gets hot.
Mhm.
And because
I'm not
Percival
gonna-
puts salt in the
I'm not
water.
Well, I'm not going to turn on the AC for a couple of fish. Okay.
Exactly. No, that's just wasteful.
Uh huh.
Extra gasoline. Limited resource.
What is your vice, if you have one, or vices, Percy? What's yours?
I mean, I guess my vice is uniqueness. Like anything that is like, it's why he wants this train set. Out of all the toys that were ever made, there were only 5 of this one toy made, only 3, right? So that's what he constantly craves. Like he wants to find something unique. It doesn't matter
Right.
what it is. And that's why he's always on the search. Like he got the bug, and now he's, you know, like Cassius said, we just drive around and we look at auctions, we look everywhere, high and low, and we find what we can find, and we sell the rest.
Okay. That's good. Is there anything else you guys would like to ask Percy about?
Percy, what do you think about storage wars?
Well, storage wards, I mean, if you just want to get all glammed up and get put in front of a camera, then do that. But I'm not a media whore, so I'm not that kind of person. Besides, I think it's a waste. There is quite a lot that you could do with some of the things that they find there, and I think it's just wasted for views. Quite honestly.
It's got strong opinions on storage wars. Stronger opinions, I would say, than most people have on storage wars.
I've never,
I can't
never
even watch
watched an
the
episode.
show. It's just
No.
it gets me all riled up. I'm like,
Yeah, I can't
Do
watch.
you
I
guys
can't
own
watch
a television?
quarters.
no.
Percy's got a
like
small.
the small
He's
like
got-
battery powered one.
Yeah, he's got one of those little small like
Little black and
radio, television,
Yeah.
like emergency things. You know, so you can maybe put that under a secret for Percy. Like he knows that Cassius
Right.
doesn't like TV, and every now and again he'll turn it on and watch something.
Just to watch sports?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Cassie would say no. Definitely no TV.
Wow. Secret has a TV. She must never know. Fantastic.
She won't be mad,
Wow.
just disappointed.
Right.
I like the idea that she's heard these little voices and she's just written it off as the ones that are in her head normally.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nope. I was watching a rerun of I Dream of Jeannie.
Every time.
Kill again violence.
Okay. Well, that's our questions for you, Percy. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself here? Anything that jumps to mind, or you've been thinking about the character that you feel like we ought to know?
He also occasionally will break away from Cassie Sue when they get to a new place, and he will go to like an internet cafe and get on YouTube and just watch old reruns of like his favorite like sporting events that he's the whatever
Right,
championship, that kind of shit. Yeah, just trying to think of
Yeah.
like put every boomer thing that I can think of. Yeah, a lot of times like the ones he was at.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's good. Okay. Well, that's a whole lot. We do have something that we have to do for Charlie's character Jolene, because she is an object of desire. There's something special about you. You ignite deep, unhealthy desires in others, which they are unable to keep in check.
I cannot wait for Percy to see her.
So, at the
Wow,
first game
hello.
session, and whenever you meet one or new people, you roll +0. And depending on what you get, I can also spend hold to ignite a person's desires, influence their behavior, For example, someone could be afflicted with an uncontrollable passion for you, strongly proposition you, become intensely jealous of you, or harm themselves or someone else because of their desire for you. So I guess, Charlie, you can just make that roll. I don't know if we ought to make it separately for all the characters, but
Up to you.
we'll see one roll first.
I rolled a 10. I rolled an 8 on one and a 2 on another, and this is a +0 roll, so that's a 10.
Nice. So someone becomes desirous of you. I take one hold. Good. I wonder who is going to be desirous. Jolene, I could try and force some discourse, some discontent, in fact, with that.
Well, you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna make Cass fall in love with Jolene. Come on, come on.
Right.
I would do that. And then I get jealous of my own girlfriend.
Or intrigued.
He doesn't.
I don't
think
know.
that
Percy doesn't strike me as a kind of open-minded sort of dude.
No.
Seems
Two
more likely
ladies
to, like,
together.
kill someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're from Mississippi. I don't know if you know, but
Yeah. So
No.
presumably, okay. So I'll ask a sort of general politic question for all of us, so we know whereabouts on a map we would stand. Would you consider yourselves liberal, open-minded people, or are you more about traditional values and you know what you know, and more in line with it sounds like what Cassie and Percy have been talking about.
Thomas is definitely open. He's
Mhm.
yeah, pretty open guy.
Heathen.
Vincent, are you an open-minded kind of guy?
Yeah, anarchy. Bring it on.
Love it. What about Jolene?
I think she's proud to be an American, because at least she knows she's free. I think she's fairly open-minded about a lot of things. But I think she believes in the government and not so much in the police. Sometimes they get it a little bit wrong, but anyone's better than Joe is kind of her opinion of the world right now.
Right. Well, I've got
Joe
another
was very
question.
conservative.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask, never have I ever joined a religion or sect, let's say. Yeah, Thomas, what religion are you?
Only because he had no idea what the hell was going on, and he was just hanging out with these people, and
That's
then
how religion
realized, yeah, and I feel that he was at this convent, like this just little,
For nuns?
you know, like they have in the sticks. No, not with the nuns.
I
But you
think
know,
nuns
like
are in
they have
convents and monks are
what
in,
they have in like the sticks, where you know, like
right.
it's just like they've got armed guards on the thing for your own safety, you know, kind of one of those.
Right.
And he got to the point where he had to move on, and he did, and it was quite messy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think we just learnt more in the last 30 seconds than in most of the Never Have I Ever questions. I'm now very scared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's like you've got to ask the right questions.
So, at some point in your past, basically you're sort of inducted into some kind of cult, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And you escape.
I mean, it was more like he wasn't like brainwashed or anything. It was more like he was with the people that were brainwashed, and he just went along with it. And he was learning, and then it got to the point where he had to move on, and then that's where he just walked out of the camp.
Right. Because presumably they were like taking in homeless people as well. That's
Oh
maybe
yeah, they're
one of the
taking
reasons why you
anyone.
wanted to-
Yeah. I mean, they
to
take
get
in the
involved.
desperate, right? They take in the desperate. And
Right. Vincent, your religion, is that part of your sort of spiritualism, mysticism that you're into now, or at some point were you in a more, I guess, well-founded, organized religion?
No, he was an atheist of his life,
Mhm.
but recently, again, he is very interested into anything mystical. He's still trying to figure out what is right from wrong in a religion. He's particularly obsessed with the idea of karma as being part of organized religion. Not much. Again, every knowledge he may have, it's kind of erroneous. Like, he would think that Gnostics are probably people who worship gnomes or something.
Right.
But yeah,
Understood.
the karma thing is really his
big.
more important thing, and he's not part of any group. He mostly reads about it.
Okay, that's good to know. Jolene, did you have a hand there? Or no?
I think the closest thing for Jolene is probably beauty pageants. That's kind of cult-like, but nothing actually to do with religion.
Yeah. And Cassie and Percival sounded like there was a heathen mentioned there. What's going on with that?
Well, I mean, not sure if there's a version of Christianity in this world or something like that.
So we're basically just in the real world as far as we know. It's sort of like the Matrix. So it's like, as far as you know, it's just fucking, Mississippi.
Right. So in that case, he was raised Southern Baptist,
Same. Raised Southern Baptist. But of course, we've got the Inheritor now, so there's that too.
Well, I mean, the great thing about being raised Southern Baptist is, hey, I committed myself to God, so everything else, that's covered under grace.
You got yourself covered. Yeah, it's basically insurance, life insurance or soul insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good to know. Tom, do your nightmares and visions have any relation to your time at this monastery?
No.
Okay. They weren't a cult in any way.
No, I think they were probably more of just like a cult wannabe, not like true cult. It was just
Right.
manipulating people and
Like Scientology light.
Yeah, it's just stupid. It's probably like a
Living in a
sweatshop
yurt.
thing. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't a true kind of cult in the sense of cult, if you know what I mean.
Right. Cult of a C, not a K.
Yeah, cult with a C, not a K.
Good to know. Okay. So a couple of the magic items I want to run over here as well. Obviously, we explained Jolene's Mystic Makeup Palette. Cassandra, you have a 2nd edition copy of... I will not even try to pronounce that, but something in German.
It means, unpronounceable in German.
Yeah, figured. Where did you pick up this book?
Obviously, it was an unlisted item at an estate sale.
How long ago do you think... Is this the book which you think maybe led to you learning of the Inheritor?
I think that could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the book that you opened the pages and learned, yeah.
Yeah, unspeakable cult. Yeah. Learned about it, learned about the ritual, tried it a couple times, and then found success! Now I'm committed.
Now you're committed. Do you know, or does Cassie know the lengths of the sort of contract with the Inheritor? Does she understand the brevity of it? Or the depth of it, rather?
Probably, like, you can't fully understand, I imagine, like, the complete of any, but I think she's got fairly decent grasp of it. She's done her research. She doesn't just jump into stuff without looking it up first.
She understands the pyramid scheme she signed up to.
Exactly. She did. She fully understood it.
And does Percy have a full understanding of the Inheritor, or is he a little more in the dark, do you think, for it?
Oh no, he's definitely in the dark. It's all part of his repressed memories and nightmares that he has.
Right.
Yeah, he's got nightmares. I have dreams.
He thinks that they're just, a side effect. Like, he just thinks that he got some power, right? Because he can do a couple
Right.
things. But he doesn't know, what happened. Because, like, once he realized what was happening in the ritual, like, I mean, he was, like, cussing
he kind of
Cassie
freaked out a bit,
Yeah,
and then he had amnesia afterwards, basically. So, no worries, right?
Yeah.
We've been good since then. That was 10 years ago. So,
Yeah, it's been,
yeah.
it's been 10 years for sure. Feels like 20, but in a good way.
My God. Wow. Okay, let's finish off with
I will
this one.
say I've tried the ritual before, but twice. It didn't go very well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so here's the bonus round question: is have you ever played a tabletop role-playing game before?
Like
Yes.
our characters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know you fucking have, Lindy.
I was like, you mean our characters, right? It's
The
been 2 years.
closest Jolene has gotten is a really aggressive game of Monopoly one Christmas.
Yeah, it's a gateway drug, isn't it?
People really got into being landlords, and it got a little bit savage. But that's probably as close as
Happens.
it got.
You got really into capitalism for a minute there, like.
Joe really wanted to dominate the hotels next to the train stations. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I would say the closest Percy, like, he's really good at Uno. That's like the only game he really plays. But he's like an asshole. He's like, people usually don't
Really?
beat him. Yeah,
This guy you're talking about is an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Skip you, come back to me. Skip you, come back to me.
Tom's played role-playing games, so it's
Yeah, of course he's done. Yeah.
He's a bit of a nerd in school.
Well, he goes to a lot of community centres and they have board games up on thing and stuff, so he just joins in. It seems a lot of fun. And he sits down, joins in, and it's like an escape for him a bit. It's a bit
So
of an
is
escape.
he still on like Pathfinder, or is he upgraded to 4E yet, or where's he at?
He's in 4E and he's staying in 4E. It's
Wow,
better
that
than
is
most people think.
controversial. That's a controversial.
It's
move.
Well, you see, because it's a community centre.
That tells us more about Thomas than fucking anything.
It does.
It's a community centre, so they can't afford to upgrade to 5E, and no one else wanted 4E, so they gave it to a community centre.
That's true.
Right. Yeah, it's sort of like
Yeah.
yeah.
I like
I don't think-
4E.
I like 4E
Hey.
too.
Thorry did nothing wrong. Except
Don't
for,
shake
I
your
don't
head
think
at me,
that's
Pruitt.
except for everything that it did wrong. It's over now. It's good.
Yeah.
Cassie grew up in the
Okay.
Bible Belt. I don't think she's really.
No,
Done
you
that.
probably believe
It's
this.
one of them
fucking
demon games,
worship.
Yeah. Eats your soul.
You saw that movie with Tom Hanks in.
Yeah.
Oh.
What am I Mazes and Monsters. You saw Mazes and Monsters, and it changed.
That's a
Very
documentary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a documentary, an educational documentary about the dangers of role-playing games. Which is why
That sounds like
I
something
never
Cassie
do
would
roleplay.
like. Cassie likes made-up friends, right? Summoning demons.
No. There's a complete difference between making a deal and pledging yourself to an actual existing deity
Mhm.
and imaginary games. It's a completely... That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
One of them's definitely
can-
worse than the other.
I can
and it's
read
the
your- I
board
can-
games.
I can see auras and talk and creatures, like beings speak through me. These imaginary games, it's dice. It's like gambling. No, gambling's a sin.
Says it right there in the Bible. Tell him, honey.
Yeah, well.
You mean to look it up for you again?
Oh no, I bookmarked it after last time.
Thou shalt not bet on black. It's in the Bible.
Oh, the two are the worst. Wow, this is it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's gonna be a lot over the coming fucking weeks. Where I'm not sure which one of the two of you is worse than the other. That's a difficult thing. Is it
I
the?
feel like I need to roll trauma every time one of them opens their face. I'm just like,
It's like a blessing that you guys don't have kids. Like,
Oh no.
Oh,
do you want kids?
oh God! No.
Wow.
No.
There are plenty of those little things running around. They don't need
The
any
world
help from
is
us.
overpopulated as it is. I mean, honestly.
Oh,
We don't need to
no.
contribute
You
to
do
plight
know
of
the
humanity.
concept of like there's only so much food in this petri dish, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie and Percy, what about global warming? Is that real?
No. You're hilarious. If anything, the world's getting colder.
Mm-hmm. Are you telling me? Are you
Well,
telling me
I
they didn't
can't-
have hurricanes? They didn't have hurricanes in the past. They didn't have thunderstorms in the past. Didn't get cold in the past. Didn't get hot in the past. So why
You
is
can
it
read
so
any
different
book from the
now?
late 14th
Right.
century. I mean, did you read I've been dealing with some medieval texts lately, and they describe the weather quite accurately on the plains of Spain. And the rain falls,
Mainly.
mainly, and thus weather hasn't changed. It's still happening.
The weather the weather isn't signs of a second coming, or
That's one of them derivations. Just
Well, it hasn't escalated to the point of any type of sign. This is just regular weather we're talking about
Really?
here. We would know if it was a sign.
It's
Someone
just
would
a
tell me.
distraction. It's just distraction
exactly.
so the government can pass new
Mhm.
laws to regulate your life.
Why do you think it's always on the news? The government controls the news.
what?
Holy
Percy and
shit.
Cassie, what shape is the Earth?
Oh, it's round.
Oh,
It's round.
It's round.
I mean,
Yeah,
anybody
I'm
can see that.
It's plain as day. Only idiots.
I mean,
Oh.
hell, that so and so he figured that out like 800 years ago, 1200 years ago, or something.
He did. But Magellan,
Yeah.
he went full around the world.
So you believe in science in general?
Oh yeah. I mean, science, history. We are antiques dealers. Of course, we have to believe in science and history.
So how old is the Earth?
Like 6,000 years.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
A long time.
I'm sorry,
I
did
mean,
we have
it's a
antiques
long
from before
time.
then? No.
Just
I mean,
anyone
what about
remember?
dinosaurs?
Yeah, what do you think of dinosaurs? What are they?
Hmm?
What do you think of
I mean,
dinosaurs? What are they?
You can see their bones in museums.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what about the fossils?
they were put
Yeah.
there by the devil to mislead you from the truth.
Is that
We
is
know.
that it? Is
I
that
mean,
true?
anything can get fossilized. You ain't never put nothing in cement. I mean, come on.
So you're suggesting someone at the start of the world?
Well, obviously,
put
when the
something
flood
in cement?
happened, everything just
see.
got smushed under layers of sediment, and then it all settled and the waters receded.
So people
We're
were
learning a lot.
walking around when dinosaurs were, like the Flintstones.
Yeah,
All right. Let me
Flintstones is a
ask you this.
documentary.
Let me ask you this here, Thomas. If supposedly dinosaur bones and all that became all the oil that we pull out of the ground, but yet there's still dinosaur bones. So is it one or is it the other? Take your pick. Dinosaur bones can't be everywhere and do everything.
I can't. No, that's flawless. That's flawless. I mean,
I've
you
had
can't
someone
argue
say
with
that to me. I've had someone say that to me.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We're
I
learning a
feel
lot.
actively dumber.
What is have Percy and Cassie? Have you guys heard of capitalism before? What are your thoughts on capitalism? Is it
Greed.
good. Yeah, corporate greed. Yeah,
It's just another rat race. Here, come join our rat race. You know, we just
Yeah.
want to be left alone. We're basically like libertarians, but not.
right.
We're conservative
But-
libertarians.
Yeah.
So also communism though, not good, right? Big swing and a miss.
Well, it's also the government just telling you what to do and dish it out. You should not have to rely on the government.
So the solution is to not have government. Yeah,
Not have government. Just anarchy. Chaos.
yay.
Vincent's into that.
He knows what we're talking about.
He knows. He knows.
Oh, I should ask as well,
Terrible.
Percy. You're not on Facebook or any social media either, right? Or are you?
Nope. Again, he secretly gets on YouTube to watch old sports
But that's
videos.
it. It's just
That's
YouTube.
it.
You sure you're not on Tinder? I mean,
Yeah, right? I was
No.
just thinking that.
just
Tin-
flick
Tinder?
right. Flick.
Tinder. What, are you starting a fire?
Swiping.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, kindling.
Plenty just
We
strikes me
kindling
as
before we need
that
tinder.
drunk, creepy guy at the bar. You know,
He
He's-
borrows someone else's phone and goes through their Tinder.
wow, that's a lot. Well,
I watch
think,
watch YouTube videos of Tinder. Yeah.
what about?
Well-
Yeah,
How are you going to be able to make any horror worse than these two? I just don't believe it.
I'm just letting it
Yeah,
happen.
what is it?
I'm just digging right now. I'm digging for the dirt. What about aliens?
Oh, okay, Here
UFOs.
we go.
You know,
They
Area
are not
51.
aliens. They are demons from another dimension disguised as aliens.
Right. Interesting.
Was Percy actually?
Point one.
Yeah, I don't know. We hadn't thought about aliens. We thought about a lot of things, not specifically aliens.
It's just one that Cassie and Percy just sort of like shrug on. They've got like super hard opinions on like how old the Earth is and shit, but when it comes to aliens, they're like,
We got plenty to deal with down here. I ain't never thought about it.
We stick to your own planet. That's what I say. Why am I worried about some other planet's well-being when
Just
ours
like
is messed
stick
up
to your
enough
own
as it is?
country. Stick to your own planet.
They barely conceived of a planet at this point. It's it's not on their radar at all. Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know which one of all of us is the weirdest character. You guys are all
Oh, I
stuff,
do.
And,
Oh, I do.
who do we vote? Who do you
Show
vote
us.
for, Tom?
Show us your sock.
Come on. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Send the socks.
I genuinely
Send
believe
sock instead of
that
nudes.
Percival and Cass. Yeah.
And
I do have a
Percy
sock.
And Cassie Sue.
You weren't around for it, Pruitt, but I have my best friend's a sock.
A sock puppet
Oh.
named Mr. Fiddles.
Oh, you're one of those.
What do you mean one of those? What are you trying to say?
I mean, nothing. I didn't say
Imaginary
anything.
games. Yes.
I don't think I want to know.
Dude, you believe in an imaginary greater being? I mean, come on.
What do you think?
Well, just because you
Well,
haven't sold your soul doesn't mean you just don't know.
Imaginary?
We don't do imaginary.
So we're gonna open up the polls here for our audience. We're gonna be betting on who is the worst person here. Whoever goes. And we'll
Jesus.
decide on that in a moment who the very worst person here is. But you can go different options. Next session as well, we'll be doing like a first blood pool. The first person to to be injured, and throughout we'll be doing various different bets like that. So if you bet 0 is Jolene, 1 is Cassandra, 2 is Thomas, 3 is Percival, and 4 is Vincent, and it will be decided who the worst person is here as a collective in a few minutes' time to decide on that one.
Tom's voting. I can see him typing.
I want to see what Tom votes. There's a bet free in there for Percival. There's a lot of bet frees coming in. I won't lie. There's quite a lot of hardcore betting against Percy being the worst one here. So Percy's pretty bad, but Cassie seems to have swung him into a demon pact, possibly against his will.
You know the fact
I think it's
that
impressive and respectable.
the
Yeah,
fact
that might be actually. It might be an
Like,
improvement.
we were against it until we met Percy.
Can we bet on the sock?
Whoa, you
Vote
Fibbles
Thomas,
out
yeah.
of this. You
Yeah,
you
vote
leave
Thomas.
Mr. Fibbles out of this.
What does the sock
Well,
puppet
do you
look
want
like
us-
then?
Penguin.
It's like a sock, and it's got like those googly eyes that you could have that you
Yeah.
shake and they go. Well, there's 2 of them on it, and they're all at skew angles and stuff. And that's
So,
pretty much
what-
it. So it's just.
What color is that sock? It's like
Yeah, what
a
color
striped sock.
It's so it's got red at the bottom, and then it goes white, and then at the it's got yellow at the very like at the foot. Of the
Oh
back.
my gosh. Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot. Charlie, you had a question.
Yeah, do you want us to go through our moves that we have from our...
Oh yeah. If you guys have got your
Fellas.
moves down already. Yeah.
My what? Our what?
Your
what?
moves.
Like advantages and disadvantages. Are special
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh.
I could do that.
Yeah, Charlie, do you want to start us off with Jolene? What's she
Okay.
got?
So as we know, with her disadvantages, she has Object of Desire, which is standard if you're a doll, and then she has a Stalker, which we also know about. For her advantages, I chose Perpetual Victim, Ice Cold, and Endure Trauma. So Endure Trauma helps me with stability. Ice Cold means in a violent situation, I can potentially be able to keep my cool and judge a better spot to be in, that sort of thing. And Perpetual Victim means that I play weak and meek, and people feel the need to protect me / not hurt me / confide in me. And it's quite a useful one. But if I
Alright.
fail, they also see me as weak, and then they try and use that against me.
Right. Which sort of play, but like your moves sort of play into the fact that you are an object of desire as well, so you can use people that way, or at least one person in a group desires you at the moment. Which could be a good thing for Jolene. What about Cassie? What tricks has she got up her sleeve?
So for disadvantages, she has involuntary medium, which means you are an open vessel for spirits and demonic entities to basically speak through her, which her Dark Pact plays into that a lot. He communicates through her exclusively. She also has haunted, which is I'm haunted by supernatural forces. So those are her disadvantages.
Cool.
Her advantages is she is a dreamer, which means that I have it right here. I can use dreams to meet people or experience past events.
That's
So,
dope.
kind of, yeah, it's pretty cool. Magical intuition, which means I can perceive auras and sense the presence of magic. And then dabbler in the occult, which is alphabetical. I can perform rituals from written instructions, so I can actually use
Right.
and wield magic.
That's interesting.
Mhm.
Awesome. Tom, what moves does Tom have?
Okay, so disadvantages. He has loss of identity and repressed memories. Those are the two disadvantages that he has. And advantages, the three I chose was Sixth Sense, Inner Power, and Lay on Hands. Those were the three that
You paladin.
I have. Somewhat.
Useful.
Somewhat, I guess you could say, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Oh man, yeah. So lay on hands is that you can heal someone by sacrificing yourself or a victim.
Yep. So I transfer
Ooh.
wounds from one person to another or myself. Is how it
Yeah.
basically works.
And if you fail, you have no control where that harm goes.
It can go anywhere. Anywhere.
Oh boy. Percy, what's some of your moves here?
My disadvantages are, of course, repressed memories. Mostly the night in question. And if Cassie has all the dreams, my other disadvantage is the nightmares. She gets the dreams, I get the nightmares. So there's that. Also, because my wait, we're not talking about dark secrets though, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool.
You don't have to.
Okay, my advantages are bound, which I draw powers from an extra dimensional entity that is bound to me. Although it's one of those things where I don't think it's bound, and I just think I can do this. I also have enhanced awareness, where I can, I believe that's one where I can kind of call upon extra dimensional entities for like information and things like that, and like kind of see beyond and see through illusions, and I can be like, oh, there's an illusion, which kind of goes in with his whole thing anyway. And then the last thing is inner power. So I have an inner power, and pretty much all my stuff comes from the inheritor.
Or pact with dark.
They were just passed to me.
Right. And Vincent, what about yourself? What moves you got for us?
For disadvantages, I got bad reputation for obvious reasons.
Yep.
Greedy, again, take your pick. As for advantages, I got Burglar, Escape Artist, and Sixth Sense, which means I got my personal Bruce Willis.
Dope. Awesome. That is pretty useful. We've always some awesome abilities there that we definitely know how to use or will come to know how to use at some point during the story. Let's do finally here our dramatic hook. So I'll read it from the book. So player requests for their character to take a certain action during the story. You can have up to 2 dramatic hooks for your character. At the beginning of the first session, the player gets to choose 2 dramatic hooks on her own. In later sessions, the PC receives dramatic hooks from the other players and the GM. So at the start of a session, when she's filled dramatic hook, she asks the other players to think of a new one. And when you fulfill a dramatic hook, you mark 1 experience. So they give some examples. When the player thinks of dramatic hooks, they may use the following verbs for inspiration and then finish a sentence with something appropriate. For instance, you should finish, reveal, tell, visit, complete, confront, investigate, or develop. The examples they give are, you should visit the place where the kidnapper took you, or you should reveal your infidelity to your wife. The PC is fulfilled dramatic hook regardless of what transpired in the scene, as long as the character executed the verb. So basically, they're like little plot hooks that actually reward you of XP throughout the story. So if there's hooks that you want, then we'll note them down at the start of each session, and we can think of some hooks now as well. You don't have to have all 2 of them, you can send them to me later, but is there anything that's jumping to mind for you guys that could be a first sort of hook for your character to fulfill? Something that they need to do, or witness, or confront, to investigate. For instance, like Tom, you might want to, because you're all about learning, you might want to investigate, maybe there's somewhere nearby that you've heard about, like a site which is said to be haunted, or a mystic who says that they can see the past and the future through their dreams. Maybe there's something that you'd like to investigate for learning more about yourself.
It probably would definitely be along the lines of learning something. What at the moment, or whether, I don't know, I'll have to have a think about it, but it most probably would be something along the lines of learning something,
Yeah, investigating the dreams or something like that would be broad enough for you to fulfill it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's actually a good one. Investigating the meaning behind the dreams.
Okay, I like that. Behind the dreams. What about Jolene? Is there something which is jumping to mind for you here?
How about she should reveal her true identity to Karen? As we've established, she's been lying. So.
Yeah. Your friend. I like that. Cassie. What's a hook for you?
Probably. Goodness.
Suggestion in chat is commune with the inheritor.
I mean, that's always a goal. Obviously. Yeah, probably that. Commune with the inheritor, or investigate some antique that may be pertinent to the inheritor's interests.
What about complete a ritual for the inheritor?
Ooh.
Or
That
maybe a
sounds good.
task, or it may not have to be a ritual, or a task.
Yeah.
Sure, complete a task for the
Sure,
inheritor.
I like that one. Complete a
I like that
task.
one. That's a bit more task-oriented as well. Let's see. We've got Thomas, Cassandra. What about Percival?
I'm thinking. I wanted to say, like, develop his powers, but that seems a bit too broad. I'm thinking either now that he has power, he wants to. I think he wants to finish his greatest regret off. He's secretly trying to find that last train set.
That train
And
set.
so
Right.
yeah.
So like
Now he has the
complete-
power to do something
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, like complete your dream, basically.
Yeah.
Percival, that train set will be the death of you.
Mhm.
I support
And
every endeavor that my dear Randy has.
Thomas, it's the engine. It's what keeps me going.
trains are always good in horror games. Vincent, what's a hook for you? Do you think?
Besides having a supernatural experience and reveal the supernatural, could be actually procure some evidence or amulets or whatever object
Right.
Could
Right.
have- powers.
Yeah. So investigate an object of the occult. I like that as well. In order to reveal the supernatural, once you have some like hard proof,
Yeah.
basically is what you want, so that you
Evidence.
can reveal it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Like I say, we can think of another one of these before next session as well, so you can start with 2 to begin with, and then something we'll try and track each session is to give you guys other dramatic hooks so that you can level up your character more easily. And also at the end of each session as well, you also gain XP if you have discovered anything new about the truth, if we as a party have learned anything new about our characters, and have we challenged ourselves. So we ask ourselves each of those questions as a group, and if we say yes, then we gain one experience point for each of our characters. And then you also go to your dramatic hooks as well, and you're like, okay, have I revealed my true identity to Karen yet? And if you have, then you tick it off and you get a new one. And the other players will give you new ones as well to be your tasks. So they can be ones that, aren't great. You could be like,
Things you
yeah,
don't
you
want
have
to
to...
do.
Right, yeah, things you don't necessarily really want to do, but could be interesting for the character to do. So that way it ends up not being like, oh, my goal is to kick a football, and you're like, oh, I got an XP, so they can be a little bit more challenging. But I think we have learned a whole lot more about our characters today. And I think that's where we'll end it for this afternoon, at the very least, because next week is our first real session of Kult, the Divinity Lost, where we are going to actually meet some of these terrible people. And I think it seems like, actually, we'll go around for the bet. Charlie, who's the worst person here in the characters, aside from me as a person?
On the surface, it's Percival, but I think Cassandra has the blackest of hearts.
Cassandra, Lindy, who's the worst person here?
I concur with Charlie. It looks like it's Percy, but it's probably Cassandra.
Tom, who's the worst person here?
I think Percy, because he's just a dick. Really, he's just a dick,
Person.
and I think
Bro,
he's
who's
going to express his
He's got a bit-
dickness throughout this entire thing.
Very well may express his dickness. Pro, who's the worst person here?
I mean, it's gotta be Percy. I mean, he might be Here's the thing: you need a dick, okay? You need that person. And I'm not gonna go into the whole team
Percy would
American
think that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, because somebody's got to get shit done. And that is the point.
Oh my lord. Well, Sam, it's all up to you, my friend. Who's the worst person? Is it Percy or Cassie?
Well, here's the thing. We need, as Percy said before, you need the dick, but then you have the sock, and oh my god, I can't get over that.
You want to vote? You want to vote Tom as the worst
sock,
person,
right?
I wanna-
You want to
Yeah,
vote Mr. Fibbles?
I'm so sorry, but I just can't get over it. It's just like, I don't know, tacky, but a do-it-yourself version.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in that case, the final vote will go to me, and I think it's so tough. I think Cassie's probably more evil, but I think Percy is the worst. And so the wording, I think the wording of the question will force me to say that Percy is the worst person here. So, congratulations to everyone who went that way. I didn't bet, and so
I did.
Impartial party.
I think that proves it.
Yeah, the fact that I would have. Congratulations, my friends. Percy is the worst. Next week, come back and we'll have a first blood pool going, and we'll see who either draws first blood or who is bloodied first. I'm not sure which is going to be the first one there, but. Thank you again to the folks over at Kult Divinity Lost for letting us play this game, letting us do this production with you guys. If you haven't checked it out yet, you have to go over to their website to check it out. They're also on Twitter at Kult RPG as well. If you want to go and take a look at the store, we'll drop links here, and it'll also be in the description of the YouTube video as well, and the podcast as well. So you can go to cultdivinitylost.com to basically learn more about the game that we're going to be playing here. But we hope that you guys learn more as we go and follow along our adventures here with our newest cultists. Let's go round the cast and the crew. Have we enjoyed ourselves today? Where can we find you guys online? Let's go in reverse order. So let's start with Sam. Have you enjoyed yourself today, my friend? Where can we find you on the internet?
Well, this was great, and I'm really looking forward to the next session. As I said before, I'm a big fan of you guys, so getting to play and get embarrassed online with you would be a great honor for me. You can find me at Twitter at Pentagram. My website is arayaart.com, and that's it.
Fantastic. Awesome. Nice and simple. Pruitt. Same question, my friend.
This has been great. This has been exciting. I can't wait for y'all to meet Percival Randolph Stewart III in earnest. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait. But I am Pruitt, one half of WebDM. We have our videos that come out on Wednesday on YouTube, D&D, tabletop role-playing game, DM advice videos, things of that nature. I think we did backgrounds today and not romance. Romance will be next week, and that is the one that I can't wait for the internet to break over. I'm just saying, Jim Davis and assless chaps will win any award. So that's just your tease for the week. But this week's a little more timid. It's backgrounds. So anyway, other than that, we have games on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I also play here on Encounter Roleplay on Friday for a little Judge Dredd action. So I can't wait to get to that on Friday. But yeah, I can't wait to get back next week in character, in costume, ready to rock.
Fantastic. And Tom, how was that tonight for you and Tom?
It was a lot of fun. I can't wait to get into the nitty-gritty of the game and the character. I know my character has been a bit, he didn't learn as much as the others, and has been a bit but it's a slow burn character. You will learn more as it goes, and I'm a big fan of developing a character as the game continues instead of all at once. You know, I like as it continues. But it'll be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to really get started. I'm Redundant UK. I'm here Wednesdays, and I'm also on RPG Webby. I'm not tomorrow, but I will be next Thursday. But there is Game of Thrones. If you've been watching Game of Thrones and you crave more Game of Thrones, then go check it out. It's 9 p.m. GMT and other times, 4 Eastern. There you go. Thank you, Charlie. So that's me done. I'll see you all next week.
Fantastic. Lindy, how was that tonight for you and Cassie?
I loved it. Cassie Sue, better known as Cassandra Suzanne Price. I can't wait to get into her and have shenanigans with Percy, because they are the cutest couple ever of all time. And yeah, you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Specifically, my once-a-month Teenagers from Outer Space game is this Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern, so definitely check it out. It's Battle of the Bands, and it's going to be hilarious.
Fantastic. And Charlie, how's that tonight for you and Jolene?
Wow, that was a lot of, I was going to say fun, but then Percy arrived, and there is no fun left in the world.
Took a turn.
Just pain. No, I'm super excited to get to play in this game. I love the hellscape that is already developing just with the characters. And I can't wait for next week to dive in and see where the rabbit hole takes us. I'm Frost from Fire on the Twitters. I am in tomorrow's episode of A Song in Ice and Fire After the Fire Game of Thrones game on RPG Webby. Very excited, looking forward to that. We have a tournament coming up. This is very exciting. The other thing I'd really like to plug, actually two more things, is the Lost Girls podcast has been announced and we will be coming back early July with our first episode, supported by Encounter Roleplay Network. Thank you, Will and Encounter, for hosting us. We have a new Twitter, which is @NewVamsterdam, where you can follow us, and a little Patreon, The Lost Girls. If you'd like to check that out, we post lots of little content and fun stuff if you like vampires in the 80s. And the other thing is on Sunday at 4 p.m. is the premiere of my new show, Sky Chasers, over on Tales from the Grim. If you like the 1950s, UFOs, flying saucers, FBI agents, strange phenomena, Call of Cthulhu system games, come and check that out. It's a lot of fun. We have a really cool cast. And yeah, that's it for me.
Fantastic. Well, Twitch tells me it's right on the 3 hour mark, so we totally nailed it. We'll be back next week at same time at 2 p.m. Eastern for the first real episode of Kult Divinity Lost. We'll hope to see you guys there. But tonight at 8 p.m., as long as the internet holds out wherever Gnome is in the world, there will be episode 1 of the new season of Little Busters, which is now in Things from the Flood, rather than just Tales from the Loop. So check that out tonight. Stay tuned. It could be cancelled. The last I heard is that the internet was being a pain in America, so it may well be they put an end to that, and I'll be back next week. But keep an eye on Twitter's Flash should be on. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see. But as mentioned, we'll see you guys next time. Try not to roll too many net ones. We want to be there laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.